Welcome back to the Glacier Guys. I'm here with my co-host,
Joey Fernandez.
And today we have our first special guest, Christopher Villafuerte. He's a sophomore baseball player on the Moraine team. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me. It's an honor.
So to get started, a little background on Chris. Give us your major and a little bit of background of your baseball career.
My current major right now is sports management.
Very nice.
I am 20 years old, and I am a COVID freshman, so I still have 4 years of eligibility left.
That's great.
I've been playing since I was 3 years old. And
3.
It's a game I love and love watching.
That's great. So for Moraine this year, outside of yourself, just can you give me a breakdown of some of the differences in practice so far?
Yeah. Obviously, there's a lot more strict restrictions. Social distancing, wearing your masks. We just have to be cautious about what we do. But the actual baseball activity itself is the same as last year.
Mm-hmm.
Season starts in 2 weeks, so we're trying as fast as possible to be ready with under these restrictions.
So compared to like last season, is it around the same like starting time still, or not really?
Over the fall, we didn't really get as much practice time. We got a little outside, but when the weather started going bad, we weren't allowed to practice. So we had to do it all by ourselves, individual workouts. But as a team, we didn't start until beginning January.
Gotcha. So for like the schedule, are you guys playing less games? Are you guys playing teams that are just closer to you?
Yes. I'm pretty sure we have 36 games scheduled, between 36 and 40. And we do not have a spring trip. Like last year, we went to Arkansas, but now we don't have the long travel.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure most of the games are in conference to, like I said, to restrict as much travel as possible. But there is less games scheduled, yeah.
Gotcha. So like last season, how many games were you guys scheduled?
I'm pretty sure last year we had around 50 games, so
50?
about like 10 less scheduled games this year.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Has it been hard adjusting to like some of the restrictions, or?
At first, yeah, because no one wants to wear the mask while running. It's difficult, but after a while, you kind of get used to it. But yeah, you get used to it.
Yeah, that's good.
It sucks, but it's the new norm now.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
I mean, as a team though, I know you guys started off pretty hot last year. How are you guys looking this year?
We have a lot of potential. We have a lot of young talent. We're all just ready to get out there and show what we can do, because you're limited to what you can do inside the gym. But yes, the weather's finally starting to come. Now we just need the snow to melt, and once we get out there, I think we can show what we can do.
That's good.
Do you think it will hinder the team in any way, or no?
I think so. I know some teams have started practicing like a while ago, so I think we're a little blessed to start so early.
Okay.
But once we get outside, I think it'll definitely be beneficial. But right now at the gym, we're still getting our swings and we're getting all the reps we can. So I think it's beneficial just to have any type of practice at this moment.
Sure. Do you think it'll be like kind of like an even playing field, since everyone's probably going through the same thing?
Yeah, somewhat, because like you said, everyone's going through the same thing that we're going through. It's hard to get as much space as you can with sports pushed back, so fighting for gym space is a little more hard to come by. So I think at some point, yes, it's about an even playing field.
Makes sense.
Were there a lot of not only I guess freshmen but like sophomores from last year? Did any of them stay to play?
Oh yeah, a few stayed. I want to say about 4 or 5 stayed.
Okay.
A lot also left though to go to other colleges.
Right.
But yeah, we got a few guys that came back because they didn't really get the opportunity to show what they could do between the 7 games. So they want to show what they can do and then transfer out.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I want to say like 4 or 5 guys have returned that were sophomores.
That's good. And I know recruiting was hard with COVID and everything. So do you guys have a decent amount of new players, like incoming freshmen?
Yeah, we have a lot of young talent. I know a few guys from Tinley Park, I think, are there. But a lot of the guys are very talented. They have a lot of potential.
That's good.
And yeah, like I said, we're ready to just go out there and show what we could do.
Mm-hmm. And then for yourself, do you plan on, because I know you're in your, first year of eligibility?
Yeah,
do you plan on staying here for another year and playing?
I plan on transferring.
Yeah.
Mainly because I just want to know what it's like to live on my own. I think I'm ready to leave. I'm sure all you guys know.
Yeah.
It's time to get away from mommy and daddy.
Oh,
yeah.
So I couldn't agree more.
But I plan on playing because I feel like if I don't try to play, I'm gonna regret it later on in my life.
Oh, so like when you transfer, you're gonna try and play.
I'm definitely gonna give it a shot. Okay. But I plan on transferring.
Gotcha. That's awesome. I mean, has COVID impacted your decision on like transferring or if you're still going to play or not really?
Not really. I'm not like that worried about it. Plus with the virus coming out, the vaccine, but yeah, it's still baseball. I need to play it. I've been playing my whole life. It feels so weird if I don't play.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I definitely plan on playing, and I'm not really worried about COVID all that much in the future.
Gotcha. I mean, yeah, that's great. It sounds like you guys are in a pretty good spot right now as a team, and I can't wait to go to some of the games if possible.
Without a doubt, appreciate that.
Yep. All right, so that was a little background on the Moraine team. Now we can move into some MLB talk because Chris is very, very informed when it comes to MLB.
Oh yes, love my White Sox.
We could actually start with the White Sox.
Perfect.
I think the boys are in a pretty good position this year. What do you guys think?
Yes, it's very fun. All those dreadful years of watching them play and the no names, and now we finally got our core, and we're ready to go. I'm ready for opening
Are you
day.
saying Diane Viciedo and Alejandro De Aza can't carry the team?
Viciedo didn't have the nickname the Tank for a reason. He's tearing it up in I think Japanese.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, overseas.
yeah.
He's killing it.
Yeah. Came a long way from the 3 Garcia starting now.
I remember that.
Saw that on Twitter like a week ago.
I remember going to the games with like the triple Garcia.
Willie Garcia. Oh man.
Oh, Willie
Leori,
Garcia.
and then Alviseo.
Javi Garcia.
Oh, yeah.
He's still doing all right.
Yeah,
He's a solid hitter.
He's bouncing around a bit, but he's
He's
always
still-
going to stick
yeah,
a
he's
He's
little
a
solid
late bloomer,
player.
but yeah, he's solid.
All right,
not so
so
bad.
a couple days ago, February 22nd, we had the start of spring training.
Oh yeah.
Full squad reported Monday. Everything's going good so far, I'd say.
Oh yeah. I think obviously there's a little speculation about Tony La Russa and how he'll blend with the young players.
Yeah.
But from what we can see, reports, all the young players are fully behind him. They respect him. So
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I think it's gone better than expected just because of
I'd agree
the
with that.
questions
Definitely.
with Tony La Russa and the way he's handled the media and handled like interactions with players from
Mhm.
the videos that we've seen. I think he's impressed me a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
without a doubt. And they're saying this is the most organized camp they've seen in years. And
Yeah.
obviously Tony La Russa is a Hall of Famer, so he'll bring that.
I was about to say, there's no doubt that he knows baseball. It was just a matter of like, because we do have a younger team,
Yeah,
up and
without
coming
doubt.
team. So I was one of the doubters. I'm not gonna lie. Like when we signed him as manager, but just seeing like the impact that he's had so far, I'm excited for him to be
Oh
here.
well, yeah, it's a fair question to have because he hasn't been a manager since 2011,
Right.
and you don't know how he'll blend with guys like Tim Anderson that have the flair.
Yeah, and they're literally. I mean, he's someone that's literally changing the game.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, he's the next superstar. He's the face of the White Sox.
Yep.
Obviously Abreu has been here for a long time and he's been doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
But Tim Anderson, everyone knows Tim Anderson on the White Sox.
Right.
Agreed. I think that I think once Tim Anderson co-signed him, kind of, in a press conference, I think that was when I was pretty sold on it.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
without
just a
a
couple
doubt.
days ago. He's like, I'm 110% behind La Russa. Like, I've been hearing things that people around just the camp want to talk to him about baseball just all day because he knows baseball. So it's like,
Yeah, and Tim doesn't beat around the bush.
No.
If he doesn't like something, he'll come out and say
Oh,
it.
yeah,
So
There's-
for him to say that, it's reassuring.
there's
But,
no reading between the lines with him.
no.
That was my main worry coming into the season is Tim Anderson gonna like our new manager because he's the heart and soul of the team.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
So
doesn't
if he
agree
doesn't
with
like
what's
it,
going on,
yes, then there'll be issues.
It'll
but
probably carry over to the rest of the team.
yeah,
so.
and then there's videos of him and La Russa smiling, laughing. So everyone's bonding, and
Yeah.
it's really just great to see.
It's a great start so far.
Oh,
And then
yes.
we have guys like Kopech coming back. I mean, that's
Oof.
huge. That's huge, honestly.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
so bummed when spring training got canceled last year when he was hitting 100 consistently on the black.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he had that one outing versus Texas, and
Oh my.
he was sitting at 100 like easily.
Oh,
So
this kid is so talented, triple digits with ease. It's
I know it's and if he can just it's all mental for him.
Mhm.
If he can stay strong mentally, and I don't know, he seems like he's in the zone right now. So
Yes, yeah.
just from interviews and everything, he seems focused, and that's a great sign for the White
something
Sox.
that caught my eye was saying how much he missed it. Like he realized from being away from the sport for so long how much he needs this sport.
I think the quote was he said, "I need baseball more than it needs me," or something. Like it was something along those
Yeah,
lines. But
yeah.
he just said he needs the game back
And
in his life.
I love to hear that because
yeah.
he's ready to get back out there. And Giolito even said you could tell he's hungry. He's
Oh,
working.
yeah.
Yes.
yeah, I
All
think-
these guys are just, I don't know, everybody's behind each other. It's just making me, it's
I
a
love
great
it.
team energy.
Yeah, those 2 years definitely made him a lot more hungry than he
Mhm.
probably
Oh, for
was
sure.
Yeah.
before when he first came up.
No doubt about it.
I think people underrate him just because he's been out for so long.
I'm
pretty sure he was a top 20 overall prospect at one point. And now he's 39.
Yeah, that's still
he
fantastic.
Still had elite stuff.
Yeah.
He's sort of an afterthought, which is kind of crazy to think because when he came up for the first time, it was kind of like a holiday.
Yeah, it was. It was a huge deal.
Joe, I mean, we were at his debut. Yeah. It was electric. Everyone was cheering. I mean, I haven't seen the stadium that loud in a long time.
Yeah, and I mean that year even the team wasn't that great, and just to have all those people come out for his debut.
Exactly, it was ecstatic.
Yeah, I remember that. So with him being out for a year though, what do we think his possible usage is going to be coming start of the season?
I think he'll throw maybe somewhere from like 100 to 120 innings this year.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
A mix of mostly out of the bullpen. I think he starts with the team personally.
Mm-hmm.
Some people think he might start in Charlotte, get a few starts there.
I think he's going to be on the roster.
If he's on an innings limit, you'd rather have those innings in the major leagues
for sure
instead of Charlotte. So
and because he's been there before. I mean, we know what he can do in Charlotte. That's not what we're worried about. I think he'll start in the bullpen and then mix in a few spot starts here and there if there's a guy that needs to push a start back or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like come second half of the season, even like last quarter of the season, if he could make his way into that rotation, I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but that would be huge this year. Yeah, right before playoffs, that would be massive.
I could see it, but I would see it more of as like an opener type where you'd go 3-4 innings to start the game.
Right, and then have like a bullpen game.
Yeah, kind of like Garrett Crochet come in right after for 2 innings, and that's like 6 shutdown innings.
Yeah, because the team was talking about how they wanted to extend Garrett Crochet a little more, and then they want to limit Kopech, so like 3 and 3 between Kopech and Crochet, and then you get Bummer, Hoyer, and then Hendricks, and then good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck.
Honestly.
Exactly.
I mean, with having all these stud starting pitchers, people don't forget, but we also have literally, I'd say, the best bullpen in the entire league.
If not top 3, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have some arms there for sure. I mean, if you just look at the velocity of the guys alone before seeing their breaking
it's actually
balls.
scary. Like we haven't seen anything like this before on one team.
We have a bunch of guys that just absolutely shove.
Yeah, I'm happy Aaron Bummer finally got in the top 10 relievers because that man throws a sinking fastball at 97.
Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting.
Giolito said on the White Sox Talk podcast that's the nastiest pitch he's seen, the Bummer sinker.
Yeah, like ever. Yeah, I know.
He has that weird arm angle that
he's very deceptive.
Don't talk about enough.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we still have guys like Ronaldo Lopez in the. I mean, he's he hasn't been great, but that's still good enough to be in the bullpen. We have guys like Cody here, right?
Hoyer, he came on last year, very impressive.
Yeah, he's a lanky righty.
Yeah, Blanky. Matt Foster, Evan Marshall.
Yeah.
So I mean, we have a pretty solid bullpen.
We have great pitching. Yeah,
we have
all around.
We have a lot of blue chip guys that were like expected to be very good. And then we also have guys who had to work their way up from literally
we have
the
a good
bottom
mix
of the bottom.
for sure.
Like Hoyer and Foster, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really hear much about them until last year.
Yeah,
Foster's got that short arm angle with that changeup is filthy.
And then Evan Marshall was out of baseball for a year because he got hit in the face with a pitch. So
yeah, coming to the White Sox really helped him. His changeup is disgusting.
Oh yeah.
So
and we still have Jace Fry, who's he's hurt, but he'll come back around May.
Yeah,
so and he's a southpaw, so that's huge.
And you think about him a while ago, he was one of our better relievers, and now he's kind of in not to say distant, but he's a lower tier like bullpen pitcher. And he's still a very good pitcher. And I think Jimmy Cordero still has something to offer if it wasn't for Ricky Renneria putting him out there every day. So
yeah, that's true. Sure. I mean, but we don't have to worry about Ricky anymore. We love our boy Ricky, but
great players manager, but
not when it comes to decisions, especially when it comes to pitching.
There's definitely some question marks there.
Huge question marks, I'd say. So yeah, for the pitchers, I mean, we're pretty set.
One more thing to touch on, though. Honestly, I think for this team to be a serious World Series contender, I think we need one of Dylan Cease, Reynaldo Lopez, and Carlos Rodon to break out.
Yeah.
If someone were to do
Cease
who do you guys would think?
I think Cease would be the best bet.
Yeah, like they said on the White Sox Talkback, I think Cease is the X factor.
Yeah,
because obviously he's got the potential. He was one of the top average fastball throwers in the majors last year, but obviously the command was in question. But
and they were like I said, bringing in the roving instructor Jerry Narin, that's gonna help speed up Zach Collins. Wait a minute, No, that's never mind. I was thinking for the pitching, but
I was so
go
confused
ahead.
for a
Go
second.
ahead.
Well,
go
we
ahead.
can talk about the coaching staff with Ethan Katz, but
Yeah.
he's working wonders with the core velocity belt with Dylan Cease. Obviously, everyone's saying in camp that Dylan Cease is looking amazing right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Hopefully-
he's if he can come around, that is the key that will take our team to the next level.
Yeah, he's got ace potential. Right now, he's our number 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The difference between a really good 1 through 3 and a really good 1 through 4 is the difference of you making it to the DS to the World Series.
Oh, yeah.
honestly.
Yeah,
No doubt about it.
Because if you think about it, when you get in the playoffs, they barely even use a 4-man rotation. It's
Exactly.
mainly 3. So if you can have one of those stud rotation pieces coming out of the bullpen, like Julio Urias for the Dodgers,
Yeah.
he was lights out.
Yeah, like a weapon. I mean,
Exactly.
you just pull them out at any time. I
Mhm.
mean,
And
And we've in the past
key.
couple of years, I feel like in the playoffs, we've seen more and more bullpen games.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, they're more elite. And, I mean, look at the Rays. They have guys that just come out and throw 100. And
There was a
with
game,
movement.
one of the games against the Athletics, we used like 9 pitchers.
But
They
was
used
game
8,
3,
right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, Garrett Crochet got hurt in that game, so it could have looked a
Yeah.
lot different. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all bullpen.
Sorry, we don't have to.
Yeah, that bring back some memories right there.
I mean,
Dane Dunning's last game as a
Dane
White
Dunning,
Sox.
oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yep.
Hope good things for Dane Dunning.
Yeah, me too. Me too. We can go to the position battles now. We can start with catching. Who do we think is going to back up Grandal? Is it going to be Lucroy or Collins?
I mean, I'm a Collins fan.
Mhm.
I just like his approach. I like his discipline, but I think it's eventually going to be Jonathan Lucroy. I think he'll
Yeah.
break camp with the Sox, but I still think Collins will be on the roster.
I do too, for
Yeah.
sure. What do you think?
I think it should be Collins, and I think it's going to be Lucroy. To be
Yeah,
honest
my
with
exact
you.
thoughts. Yeah,
Because the way they like in the manner that they signed him, it kind of just gave like it had backup catcher written all over it.
Yeah.
Honestly, because they've talked like for a guy who would have been in AAA to start the year, they wouldn't be talking about him as much as they are in camp right now. You
Right.
know what I mean? He wouldn't be
Mhm.
as relevant as he is.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't know. Maybe they brought in Lucroy to compete with Collins and maybe try
Yeah,
to spark some more
that's
talent out of
true.
Collins.
Yeah, I mean if Lucroy's been there, done that, multiple
Yeah,
time
definitely.
All-Star. He's in his mid-30s and he's been a journeyman. He's been on like 8 or 9 different teams,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
he's he's kind of like he's a safe bet as a backup catcher, but
That's
I
true.
feel like Collins the upside though. Like I feel like you have to
Exactly.
take the chance on that.
And we haven't really given him much opportunities. He
No.
doesn't have a lot of plate appearances in the majors, and I just want to see what he can do with a few more at-bats
Right.
here and there
Exactly.
on a consistent basis.
I think I hope at least if Lucroy is a backup catcher that they give Collins a lot of leeway as a DH
Mhm.
in the
Yeah.
beginning of the year at least before.
Yeah, because
if Vaughn's
Vaughn.
not there.
Sorry to cut you off, but Vaughn, like I feel like he can't just jump in and be the DH all the time.
No,
Nah,
definitely not.
Yeah.
He's
With-
gonna need to get some plate appearances in the big leagues first
Yeah.
before he gets settled.
And
so.
with young guys, you kind of got to sit them down every once in a while.
Yeah,
let 'em
every
reflect.
every rookie has a rookie slump. I mean, look at Luis Robert.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
always
how-
talk about a rookie slump.
Yeah. But yeah, you have to give your rookies some days off because it's mentally rough on them.
Yeah, I mean, especially going from single A to the big leagues, like that's a massive
And
jump.
Vaughn hasn't played a full 162 game. He has, I believe, 55 career minor league games.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I mean the upside on him is just huge. but
yeah, he's another guy that his plate discipline is what got him drafted.
Right.
Obviously, he can rake,
right,
but our front office likes guys who have the discipline, and that's if he makes the starting opening day starting lineup,
Mhm.
that it'll be because of that.
right. And I think that's a possibility. I mean, I think it's gonna be between Collins and Vaughn for that first DH spot. But
Mhm.
if Vaughn can be ready for opening day, that would be huge.
Yeah, and I mean,
Definitely.
time will tell because if one guy rakes in spring training and the other guy doesn't, that could be the difference maker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Vaughn won't struggle as bad as maybe like Eloy or Robert did. Like
Yeah, better
in the
approach.
mix of the yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
His plate discipline is a
Yeah,
lot better than those
right.
guys, I think.
Definitely.
And he's willing to take a walk. Eloy and Robert kind of were prone to chasing the off-speed pitch in the outside
Mhm.
corner.
Yeah.
So if he can lay off that pitch when he comes up, I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, and Lucas Giolito said last spring training, summer camp part 2, that Andrew Vaughn and Nick Madrigal are pain in their butts because they don't strike out. They put
Right.
the ball in play and they don't swing at
Yeah.
bad pitches.
Exactly. I think the power may not he may not come out and hit like 10 home runs in his first month or anything
Yeah.
like that, but I think I think he'll get some hits here and there, walk a bit.
I was about to say, with having discipline, he's not gonna come out like and have a fantastic start like Robert did, and I think that's part of not being as disciplined. Like you can get kind of lucky and start off really hot,
definitely.
but then with not being disciplined, we saw the second half of his season wasn't that great.
Yeah.
But with Vaughn, he's going to start out, I feel like, way more consistent.
Yeah, he's gonna stay within himself. He's not gonna go out there and try to light the world on fire.
Mhm.
And you look at our lineup. We don't need him to be fantastic.
No, we don't.
No, exactly.
How many stars we have in our lineup?
Right.
We don't need him to light the world on fire. So
if he was league average, that would literally be a massive upgrade.
Yeah, compared to our past
the past
DHs. Oh my gosh,
decade or so. Yeah.
Yeah, Edwin last year was
Yonder Alonso, Matt Davidson. I mean.
Hey, Matt Davidson, he had a good month at one time, right?
Yeah, he would hit some home runs, but wouldn't do much else.
DH has definitely been an adventure.
Yeah, Andrew Vaughn doesn't have to do much to compare to those guys.
Right,
so.
right. I mean, like you guys said, all he has to do is be average.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and he's definitely going to see pitches to hit because they're going to attack the rookie over Eloy Jimenez.
Oh, yeah.
Eloy Abreu, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. He's going to be the one getting the fastballs.
Mm-hmm.
And then even like we have a few bench spots. I mean, Louis Garcia is the utility man. Like,
oh yeah,
I think he can play every position, not like extremely well, but outside of catcher, like you could literally throw him anywhere.
Yeah, he's perfect. He's perfect for a bench.
Yeah.
You need that kind of guy. That you can plug and play wherever.
He's even versatile at the plate. He's a switch hitter.
Yeah,
he literally does it all.
He's a human Swiss Army knife, I guess.
Exactly.
Honestly.
Yeah, that's well, yeah.
And he's quick. He can hit. He has a little bit of pop in his bat.
Mm-hmm. He won a Gold Glove here, no?
I'm not sure about that.
He may have been a finalist.
Yeah.
But, I don't think he's won one exactly, but
okay.
he's a solid outfielder.
Yeah, he's definitely a solid bench bat to have.
He's solid at second base. I mean, the other three infield spots probably a little iffy, but he can definitely get it done.
Yeah, well, I think he's pretty comfortable at shortstop too, but obviously he's not going to play.
He came
there,
up as a shortstop, so that's what gives him the athleticism to play all these kind of positions.
Yeah,
right.
And then he's a solid hitter. I mean, for a utility guy, I think he doesn't get as much respect.
Yeah,
as
and
he
he's not going to be hitting at the top of the order. He's a solid hitter for the back end of the starting lineup. So
I was thinking of Yolmer Sanchez.
Yolmer Sanchez, he won a Gold Glove in 2019. Yes. He is now with the Orioles.
But with Leori, I mean, he doesn't really walk very much, and he swings a lot. But I mean, I don't really mind that out of a guy who's not playing that much, anyways, because he can light a spark sometimes with a big hit.
No doubt.
He hustles. He gives it all he got
on
the field.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then we still have Danny Mendick, who could come in as a utility guy.
He showed some promise in 2020, without a doubt.
Yeah, he's solid. I mean, his glove's not too bad, and he can hit some decent line drives. Yeah, I mean, he's still got some potential, honestly, because he hasn't really played a crazy amount.
He's 27. I mean, he's still got some room to improve for sure.
I don't see him being like an everyday guy for him.
No, definitely
not with World Series aspirations.
But I think the bat could come around a little more than it has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And then, like you said earlier, we can get into some of these new coaches, and I mean, even just La Russa with the clubhouse and everything. We touched on that a little bit earlier, but I don't know. I'm beyond impressed with La Russa so far.
Yeah, I mean, he came out day one. He's like, all right, this is going to be a family environment. We need to stick together to be able to succeed.
Yep.
And he's done just that, and the players have his back, and that's something you love to see.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is that he came in trying to earn respect off day one. Like, he didn't come in just trying to use his reputation as a reason that he should have respect instantly.
Yeah, he wasn't like, okay, I'm a Hall of Famer, you guys are going to respect me.
Yeah.
He said, you need to earn trust first, and that's what he's trying to do.
Exactly.
Right.
He's coming in acting like he's a 30-year-old manager who's never coached before.
This is his first job. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I like that, honestly. That shows that he's still, like, he wants to connect with the players on a personal level, and clearly he's still hungry to win. So
yeah, if he wasn't, he wouldn't be on this team.
For sure.
I've seen a bunch of reports about him spending a lot of time with players and messing around with players and talking to them and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that can stay consistent throughout the season. But
yeah,
I'm pretty optimistic about Tony right now.
Yeah, when it first happened, I was like, oh, this is such a Jerry hire. But like, you see with time, I think it'll be good.
Yeah, me too. I was the same way. I was hoping for a AJ Hinch possibly.
Yeah, same.
Definitely.
I think that was my number one. But when I saw Tony at first, I'm like, bringing in a 76-year-old guy for this
there's gonna be
team that's in their mid-20s.
Yeah.
But I mean, if anybody knows baseball on this earth, it's Tony La Russa, for sure.
Definitely.
And then we have new signings like Ethan Katz, new pitching coach.
Yep, Lucas Giolito's high school pitching coach worked wonders for Gio.
That's huge.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the most innovative pitching guys out there right now. He's all into the analytics and stuff like that.
I think that move might be the most underrated of the offseason.
Yeah, that could easily be overlooked.
Don Cooper's obviously a White Sox legend, but we needed that new age type coach. Ethan Katz is that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
From everything I've seen around the MLB, everyone's been pretty giving glowing reviews about him. I mean, everyone's calling it a great hire, so I'm thinking we did a good job.
Yeah, Giolito said right when he got hired, he was hitting up all the pitchers and he was ready to get to work.
Oh yeah. That's great when like a coach comes in, even a new player, and they're automatically like getting all the players' numbers. Just I don't know. That just shows like that these guys, they want to play with each other first of all, and they're just they want to win. That's bottom line. They want to win.
Yeah, everyone's on the same page. Ethan Katz and Kurt Hassler, the bullpen pitching coach, they're all on the same page. La Russa, they've had no hiccups. They're all trending in the right direction.
Oh yeah.
And with all of the new hiring of coaches we've had, I like that we do have some continuity with Frank Mendick, the hitting coach.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Mendick.
Yeah, I think he did a great job last year. No disrespect to
Todd Stevenson.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's how forgettable he was. Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to Todd Stevenson or anything like that, but Frank Mendick, I mean, I think that another year with the players will get guys like Luis Robert and Eloy Jimenez with more plate discipline, I would say.
Yeah, definitely, and that just by these hirings that like shows you that okay, we're not taking this lightly. We're ready to win. And we need new guys.
Like I brought up earlier, I don't know why I had Zach Collins in my mind, but the new roving instructor Jerry Narin, like they said we brought him in to speed up like a specific player's development. This just shows that like we're so comfortable with the guys that we have right now. Like bringing in this pitching coach, he has experience with Giolito. Like we're putting all of our trust in these guys, and we're making signings for our players.
Yeah, I mean
that's huge.
You have to take risks to be able to be rewarded, and I mean, these risks are, in my opinion, going to work out.
I think so too, but like just outside of the. I wish we would have taken more financial risks, I guess you could say. But
yeah, definitely.
But with Jerry as owner,
it's not.
There's only so much you could hope for.
Happen, really.
After we get fans in the seats, who knows? Maybe that money comes back around. But for now,
I mean, Rick Collins said the money's going to be spent. I was hoping it wasn't the $74 million we spent on Grandal. That's it. But
yeah, I'm hoping that money gets spent in the form of extensions.
I hope so too. Yeah, extensions are going to be huge.
Yeah, we're definitely really good with the young prospect extensions, which is obviously solid, but you need those high-end veteran free agents too. So
yeah, I think a Giolito and a Lance Lynn extension would be pretty good right about now.
I need that Giolito extension ASAP.
I think we all do. I mean, I'd say he's a top 10 pitcher in the league right now.
Oh,
and
yeah, easily.
I mean, he has potential to be top 3 in a few years.
Yeah.
He's got the third best odds to win the Cy Young in the AL. So
yeah,
it's just music to my ears, honestly.
Just right behind Garrett Cole and Shane Bieber. It's pretty good company.
Yeah, great company.
Fantastic company. And he's on the come up too. Like
yeah.
I mean, so is Shane Bieber, I guess you could say, because he's still fairly young. But Garrett Cole, I mean, he's kind of towards the middle end of his career.
I mean, he's still got a decent amount of years to be what he is now. But
I just with like with Giolito, I feel like he hasn't even reached his full potential yet. He's just getting started.
Yeah, not even close. Like Joe said. Yeah,
I've seen almost everyone trying to project what his ceiling is going to be, and a lot of people really don't even know where to gauge it yet.
Yeah.
If you think about it, Giolito's been basically a 2-pitch pitcher the past 2 years.
Right.
Over this offseason, he's been working on refining that slider with Ethan Katz.
Yeah.
If he can get that third pitch, he's going to be unhittable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's got that length, and he's releasing the ball so far.
Yeah. Very deceptive.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, on basically 2 pitches, he has the most swinging strikes
in the zone.
In the league over the past 2 seasons, I think.
Something like that. Yeah. He has more than Jacob deGrom. So
that just shows you how on top of the toes. The hitters are. The speed differential is like 15 miles per hour, I think, between his fastball and changeup.
Yeah, exactly.
It's insane.
And they almost know what's coming because it's 50-50 chance.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, if you trim it down to a 30% chance, it's going to be a lot lower chance of hitting it. So
right.
He's got a pitch he's working on called the downer. It's kind of like a 12-6, but he just says just go straight down.
Right.
So he might feature it, but that's another pitch he's working on with the Cats.
Yeah. I mean, outside of bringing in new coaches and a new manager for just like the clubhouse environment, there's guys like Giolito, Anderson coming out to the press with saying that last year we weren't aggressive enough. We have a new killer instinct. I'm eating this up right now.
Love it.
I'm eating it up.
Absolutely love it. You need that to win a World Series. You need to get angry. You can't, because they admitted last year once they made the playoffs, they're taking it a little easier.
And we saw that because I remember when we first clinched and a few games after, Abreu was in an interview. He's like, we just took our foots off the gas for some reason. So I'm like, all right, these guys are going to turn it around. And we never really lit that fire back. So
no, they got comfortable, which is like, okay, you'll expect that from young guys because they don't know what the playoffs is yet. So they're just happy to be there.
Right.
But now they know they have more expectations than making the playoffs.
Exactly.
Again, I keep referring to the White Sox Talk podcast, but Giolito said playoffs are expected now. We're not trying to just make the playoffs. We're trying to win it all.
Right. Yeah, multiple times too.
I think the coaching and the new coaching and then the new players added kind of provided like a spark to the team, and they realized like, all right, it's go time.
Oh, definitely.
You know
you see Lynn and Hendricks screaming their lungs out when they get a big out. You love to see that energy. You love that competitiveness. You need that on this team.
Definitely. There was a clip of, was it Hendricks versus Eaton, where he was mad, he was yelling at himself because he threw a bad pitch.
He walked him in a live at bat
These
few
guys,
days ago, and he was furious with himself.
Beginning of spring training, and they're already just the competitive juices are flowing.
Yeah, and
you love to see it.
Hendricks even said he hates facing guys like Adam Eaton that don't strike out, and yeah, you could see it in that video.
Oh yeah. A quote from Lucas Giolito: "We need to step on throats. We need to try to kill other teams until the very end." So
feed it to me.
Oh yeah,
give it to me.
And Tim Anderson also recently had a quote of saying that they think they have a pretty good chance of whooping on the Twins this year.
Yeah.
So hopefully that comes to fruition. But
you said whooping on the Twins?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's ready.
They have a good chance.
Calling people out, baby.
He's ready to claim that AL Central division.
Oh yeah, baby. We should have had it last year.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we should have.
I will say it is the Twins division until we take it away from them.
Totally agree.
We have to go out and prove ourselves this year for sure.
We
no doubt.
Definitely have the potential to do that.
No doubt. And it's just nice seeing like in hockey, you have people with the C on their jersey as a captain and an A. I mean, you got to give that to I'd say Giolito and Anderson. Anderson might be the team captain just with the way that he's been so vocal and just reaching out to everybody, and
definitely
just his competitive nature. I mean, you could argue that he's the captain of this team.
He's the face of the White Sox, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think
for sure. We could talk about the impact that some of the new guys are having, or that they will have, like Lynn, Hendricks, and Eaton. And Eaton was on the team before, but I feel like we're seeing a new player because he's a World Series champ now.
Yeah, he's got the World Series experience and winning experience.
Right.
Yeah,
right, for sure.
He definitely brings kind of the fire that all the other new guys kind of bring. Like Lynn, Hendricks, and Eaton all kind of have that killer instinct. Yeah. Like they don't really take any crap from anyone, you know.
No.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then the Lynn signing was pretty big news, but I don't think people realize how big that it was for our rotation.
No, I think that was the biggest acquisition because I mean when we went into Game 3 with a question mark, we didn't declare the starter until like 3 games before.
That's a huge red flag.
Yeah, and Lynn is going to solidify the rotation, and it was much needed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Lance Lynn may not be the sexiest name, but I mean two top 10 Cy Young finishes are kind of kind of nothing to sleep.
I mean, he's
on.
definitely got the sexy body though.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Lance Lynn is a unit.
Yeah, obviously the Hendricks is. He's a sexier name if we're putting it this way, but Lynn I think is going to have the most impact.
I agree.
For sure.
I agree.
And I think the best part about it is how much of a workhorse he is. He's willing to go out there and throw 6 innings and 115 pitches every outing.
You have to tackle him to take the ball away from him. So
oh yeah.
Exactly.
The first conversation Lynn and Katz said is like, yo, sometimes I'm going to be mad at you for taking the ball out of my hand. Just realize that.
Yeah, and I think a guy like Adam Eaton's kind of a slept-on signing also because he provides some good balance to the lineup. Because for a lineup that did so well last year, we didn't really walk very much.
No,
not nearly as much as we should.
That's exactly what Eaton brings that we don't really have is guys that walk. I mean,
Right.
You have Grandal and Moncada, but other than that,
Yeah,
you might have Vaughn too that does that. But
yeah, some of our big boppers may go up there and swing for the fences, but they might strike out on 3 pitches and keep the pitcher's pitch count lower. But a guy like Adam Eaton's going to go up there and work at 8-9 pitch count and draw a walk. So I think you kind of need those guys over the course of a season to balance things out.
Exactly. And
Right.
I mean, right field's exactly like the DH. You don't have to do much to be better than what we've had in the past.
Exactly. As soon as he steps in the door, he's the best right fielder we've had since Avisail Garcia. So.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, so it's gonna be what between him and Adam Engel most likely?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's most likely going to be a platoon because in my opinion, Adam Engel has earned the right to at least start against lefties.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
He's shredded lefties over the past few years, and I mean, for him not to play against them, I just feel like wouldn't
That would
make
be
any
a
sense
crime.
at all.
And
But,
obviously he brings the glove. I think he's got a better glove than Eaton.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if he,
I think the only thing Eaton has maybe is speed in the field, but
I think what Eaton has is the ability to hit righties, but besides
yeah,
that,
we
I
need
think
that.
Engel's just a decent player. I mean, he has kind of like a stigma around him when it comes to Sox fans because
yeah,
he was on the team
past
when
with
they
Todd
weren't that
Frazier
great.
and
Mhm.
all that.
But I think he's gonna make an impact. Like
yeah, his
more than
bat. I mean,
people
his
think.
bat came to life last season too. So
Yeah.
No, against righties, he's solid. And like I
Yep.
said, we don't need him to do much. He's going to be at the bottom of the lineup.
right.
So
Mhm.
we don't need him to, again, light the world on fire. We just need something better than we had in the past.
Exactly. I guess we could dive into. I mean, I don't really.
If you guys want, we could talk about Liam Hendricks. We didn't really talk about him
Yeah.
all
Oh,
that
that's
much.
true. That's true.
I mean,
Good point.
Okay, so game 2 against the White Sox, throws 50 pitches. So I'm thinking, oh, great, he's not coming out for game 3. There's no
No
way.
chance.
Yeah.
There's no way. See him in game 3. I'm like, oh, okay, that's impressive.
Yeah, that was when I kind of knew this guy's kind of a psychopath.
Just a little bit.
'Cause he was not phased. He came in he got 4 outs, didn't he?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he was throwing high 90s still. I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
His face was as red as ever.
Yeah. And
He had those psychotic eyes just staring at
Yeah.
you. He
Yeah.
didn't look phased at all.
no, that's the fire he brings, and I saw that. I'm like, I would love to have that man on my team.
Oh, yeah.
Completely agree.
And I think like with Colomé, he was a good
Yeah,
reliever,
but he
but
didn't-
this was like the thing we had to do to upgrade that position, and we went out and we
Yeah.
got the best guy in the league.
Hendricks is
Exactly.
going to strike out your guys. Calme is reliant on soft contact, which, granted, he did.
It worked,
but
I mean,
Yeah.
I was always a little nervous.
I was always
because-
nervous watching
Yeah,
him.
it was
And
never pretty. I mean, he got the
as-
job done, but it was never pretty.
And a lot of the advanced statistics point to him regressing a lot. So that's a little scary to ride to your back of your bullpen.
Yeah, go to the Twins. We'll light him up a few appearances. No, I'm just kidding. But
Yeah.
still good. But I think we can all agree we'd rather have Liam Hendricks than Alex
for sure.
Calme.
Yeah.
And just like again, it all comes back to the clubhouse environment. This is a fiery guy that we just got.
That's what Rick Hahn and Kenny Williams said. They
Exactly.
need that fire. They need that competitiveness in
Oh,
that
yeah.
clubhouse.
That's the kind of guy you want to get up for. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
That's the guy you love to have on your team, but hate facing.
Yep, for sure. And I think you could throw Eaton in that category a little bit too.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah, he's scrappy.
Oh yeah, for sure. We could talk about potential players that can be traded for or away at the trade deadline.
Yeah. Personally, I mean, my eyes are set kind of high on the guys that were rumored to come to us this offseason a little bit.
Mhm.
Like the 2 Brewers pitchers are the guys that I kind of
Corbin
want.
Burns, Woodruff. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, those guys are going to be. You're going to have to give up some players for them. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it would be tough definitely to let go of some of our key guys, but I mean, if our rotation, like guys like Rodon or Lopez don't step up, I feel like it could give us a little boost, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree. And like I said, we don't have many holes in the lineup, so we can afford to give a hole in the lineup to add a hole, you know?
Exactly. Because I think a guy like Leori Garcia wouldn't be the worst at second base in the league. You know what I mean?
No, he's serviceable without a doubt.
Yeah.
So like giving up a guy like Nick Madrigal and a few other prospects that haven't came up yet for a guy like Brandon Woodruff or Corbin Burns, I think could help us out a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I think, like I said, the difference between a solid 1 through 3 and a solid 1 through 4 are like huge.
Yeah, it's night and day.
You don't know if Lynn will get extended, so if you trade for those guys, they have more control.
Exactly, and who knows if Dylan Cease actually does what he looks like right now, you know?
Correct. But the thing I love about Nick Madrigal is, I mean, he doesn't strike out. He's so much different from all the guys we have, and it's reassuring to be like, all right, if there's a guy on third with less than 2 outs, that guy's most likely going to score. Like he'll put the ball in play. He'll do what he needs to do.
He's definitely like a guy you kind of need on your team, like a glue guy, and he's actually like very good. Like calling him a glue guy kind of doesn't do him enough justice, but I think that if the team needed to go out and get a marquee guy like this, he's kind of the most expendable. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Because I mean, he's got the highest floor, but possibly the lowest ceiling out of all our major prospects.
Yeah,
because he's never gonna hit over 10 home runs a year.
I'd be shocked if he gets 5 this year, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I don't know. I could definitely see him going a full season without a home run, honestly.
Right. Yeah, maybe like 1 or 2.
Hey, as long as he's got more than Nomar Mazara, I'm okay. Hey, he did homer off the NL Cy Young, so there's something.
That's a good prop bet if I've ever heard one.
Honestly, yeah, that was a little brutal, but yeah, I think like you said earlier, if we give up a guy and make a hole, I mean, we have a Lurie Garcia, and if we add to that, to the pitching, I mean, that I feel like it would be worth it, you know.
Yeah, and we might not trade for a top tier pitcher, but like a 4 and 5.
Yeah,
because that's what I kind of wanted over the free agency. But then they re-signed Rodon, and they're hoping that he can at least fill the 5, or go like an opener. He can have solid 2-3 innings and then give it up to the bullpen. But I think a 4 or 5 trade is more realistic than a top tier. But
yeah, for sure, no
I
doubt.
get that. Would you be willing to give up like Nick Madrigal for a guy like Marco Gonzalez, or do you think that's too little to get back?
I'm personally not a fan of Marco Gonzalez.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's a tough one. I'll see how he does during this season, because 2020 was a weird season with, you don't face as much competition because we were only in the Central. He was only in the West, which I guess the West is very tough division, both sides. But I'm just not a huge fan of Marco Gonzalez.
Okay, I just wanted to gauge your bar on Madrigal and how you felt about Marco Gonzalez.
Yeah, I mean, if he's in the middle of a rotation, it's whatever. But
all right,
it can't be much more than Nick Madrigal. Like, it's not going to be Madrigal and like a Stever type guy. It's going to be a lower level after Madrigal, I would feel like. But
do you think Vaughn would be like a big enough package to give up just for like one ace, like? Or do you think we would have to add in another?
We might have to add in like a Dahlquist or like a Matthew Thompson type, like a young high school pitcher that has potential.
Okay.
But I mean, you hear all around the league that Vaughn's as good as it gets hitting wise, and I mean, Jim Callis said he can be a 300 hitter with 30 home runs. Like, he's that good, and he walks.
I'll take that.
I'll take that all day.
Oh yeah, for sure, no doubt. We signed Tim Beckham too, right?
Yeah,
Tim Beckham. Yeah, that was really early in the season. Yeah. I'm not sure if he's still on suspension for the PEDs. I'm not exactly sure on that.
I'm not completely sure, but I think he's been in camp.
Yeah, he's got a little pop in the bat. I mean, the defense is a little rough, but
I don't mind him. I mean, if someone needs to get a spell in the infield, maybe like Nick Madrigal or something, I wouldn't mind Tim Beckham getting a few ABs out there.
No, yeah, he's got an okay bat. I mean, especially for like a lower level signing.
Right.
I don't mind that at all.
For sure.
And he's not even the backup infielder; he's the second
exactly
infielder. So I think we're all right there.
Yeah.
It's just I think the biggest part for us was like everybody that we lost, whether it was like James McCann or Mazzara, we filled all those holes. Like, we have the replacements,
you know. Obviously, losing James McCann's gonna hurt a little bit because that was arguably the best 1-2 catching tandem
in the entire
right there.
league.
But Grandal's a top 2 catcher. Like, we don't need that.
Right.
Like, obviously, it was good to have, but that wasn't a necessity.
Right.
The necessity was our number 3 starter.
For sure.
I feel like the only player that, like, the only position that we lost that we downgraded from, I guess you could say, is backup catcher. But like, it's backup catcher.
Yeah,
that's like that's not saying much.
And Grandal has a track record of catching 130, 140 games.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
if you need Lou Croy or Collins to catch 25, 30 games, like, okay, that's whatever.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
We lost Alex Calame, but obviously got Liam Hendricks, so that was an upgrade in my opinion.
Yeah.
Gio Gonzalez losing him, I mean,
That was
whatever.
I liked it when we first signed him. I thought he was going to be all right, but I mean, after
Didn't pan out
after the
too
first
well.
outing, coming in after Lopez hurt, and then
Yeah.
of course Nelson
Yeah.
Cruz took him deep.
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
mean, Nelson Cruz is Nelson Cruz against us. So.
Right.
Definitely didn't live up to the expectations, but
No.
and then
No.
it happens. I mean, you're not going to hit on every signing, but
And then Steve Shishak was a nightmare.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we lost Dane Dunning too, but
Yeah, I mean he's another guy. He's like Nick Madrigal, high floor but kind of a low ceiling.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
he's got the location, he's got some movement. I mean,
right.
I like Dunning, but to trade for Lance Lynn, which, like you said, finished in the top 10 Cy Young voting back-to-back years, and the necessity was there, so I'm okay
Right.
with that trade.
Yeah, me
it's
too,
hard
for
to
sure.
argue with it, honestly.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it seems like I mean, all the guys we lost, it seems like we're filling those holes pretty well.
Yeah, we didn't have much holes to fill, but we filled them.
Yep. we can get into some of the statistics just to see, like, because we have Eaton versus right-handed pitchers, Engel versus left-handed pitchers. You touched on that a little bit earlier.
Yeah, like I said, Eaton, like his averages between 2017 and 2020, and granted, 2020 was a weird year for everybody, and
Mhm.
I'm not taking too much stock into that year, but I mean, he had an on-base percentage of 378, slugging percentage of 447, with an OPS of 825.
Yep.
And when you look back on our previous right field production, that's a lot better than what we've had.
Oh, yeah.
So
It's pretty, yeah.
it's
That's
definitely
great,
serviceable.
actually.
No
And
doubt.
a lot of guys wanted the Jock Peterson. I was a fan of it, but when you look closer into it, the Adam Eaton signing makes more sense just because he doesn't strike out as much,
Right.
and he gets on base. And we already have a lot of guys that strike out and hit home runs,
Yeah.
like Jock Peterson.
You need more consistency throughout the lineup, I think.
Totally
because,
agree.
Because with a guy like Jock, he can very easily go into a slump and strike out.
Oh, yeah, no
6
doubt.
times in 10 games.
Mhm.
And
No
it's just
doubt.
kind of like, I mean, I'd rather have a guy who's going to put the ball in play and see what happens.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. You need those guys. You need that balance in the lineup.
No doubt.
And Adam Engel, past 2 years against lefties, 66 games, 351 on base, 453 slugging with an 804 OPS. Like, that's a really solid platoon
And
for the bottom
yeah.
of the lineup.
Yeah, having those two options just like against different in different scenarios, that's huge. Honestly, like it makes
Both of them are
huge
fast. Both of them
difference.
can play a solid right field. I mean,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
take those two platoon over what we've had in the past.
If you combine them as like one whole player, that's
That's
a very good player.
Oh, yeah.
That's an over 800 OPS, and
Exactly.
750 is league average.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we if they were average, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
with above average and speed.
Exactly. And Adam Engel can win a Gold Glove. He's got that potential.
Oh yeah, no
Oh,
doubt,
yeah.
I mean,
no
he's-
doubt. I mean, even outside of just the star-studded plays like the robbing the home runs, he's just a great defender.
In 2019, I think he had like 3 home run robs in like within a
Yeah.
week.
And he saved a no-hitter.
yeah, and Giolito's no hitter. Yeah.
If you look at Robert and Engel in the field, that's like those are two of the best defensive
And
outfielders in
Eloy
the
can
league.
just chill on the sideline, chill hanging on the fence.
They're saying
He's gonna do
his
this anyway,
defense.
don't worry.
They're saying his defense is getting a little better.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, there's speculation about Eloy as a DH, but
I don't want to see that.
No,
And
he's
the
still
team,
young.
the team came out and they said they don't want to see
Rick Hahn
that.
said we see
Yeah.
him as our future left fielder, and
Yeah.
Eloy hates being defensively replaced.
Oh, yeah,
in
I
like
know.
The 8th and 9th inning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does not like that. He wants to be a complete player.
Yeah.
And Eloy's work ethic, I think he can be at least an average defender.
That's all we
Yeah,
really
That's-
need him to
that's
be.
all you need him to
Because
be,
when you have two other elite outfielders,
Yeah, when you have Luis Robert robbing Eloy of fly balls, you don't need Eloy. to
yeah,
do much.
exactly. Yeah, if Robert can take the hard ones, then
He
And
just has to be serviceable. That's
yeah,
it.
exactly.
Because I hate seeing guys that young coming up and having to be a DH.
Yeah.
I mean,
I could see it
We're
with,
gonna
like-
do it this year, obviously, but he could play first base.
I could see it.
Yeah.
I could see it with like Yordan Alvarez.
Yeah, exactly.
but,
That's the
like-
kind of example I'm like,
But
how
yeah,
can
I
you not
mean,
play the outfield?
We now legitly can say we have a Gold Glove center fielder in Luis Robert. For
Yeah.
his rookie year already.
that's
He's
huge.
got a 1 Gold Glove.
That's huge. And the first half of the season, I mean, he was literally on pace
He
to win
was
Rookie of the
weird.
Year.
There was MVP conversations with him at the
I
first
know.
half of the year. He was.
Yeah.
I didn't think he would start that good because I thought he would be a little swinging out of the strike zone. But
and we saw that the second half.
We definitely saw that in the second half. I mean, look at here with his second half: 237 on base, 173 slugging percentage, a 409 OPS. He had only one extra base hit. I want to say he had one home run with 0 doubles. I didn't check the triples, but I mean 0 doubles and 1 home run is a little scary.
Yeah, definitely. But I think it just comes with the rookie slump a little bit, you know, like with a longer season, like say they played the extra 102 games that they could have played.
Yeah.
That second half in quotations wouldn't have
wouldn't have been that bad.
It would have been like just a 2-month stretch where a rookie struggles like any other any other situation.
It only seemed that bad because we only did have 60 games, so that 30 games was half the season, so it wasn't long.
Right.
But I think the early struggles is going to benefit him in the future. Like he got those struggles out of the way already.
Oh yeah.
And in the postseason, he was hitting the ball hard.
Yeah, because I think from what I remember, Eloy struggled in his first month and a half or so, and no one really batted an eye because he's finished with good numbers. Yeah. So I think the same thing would have happened with Robert.
Eloy tore it up in September. I think he may have got Player of the Month.
Him or Moncada did.
Yeah.
Both of them tore it up.
Well, even with Robert struggling at the plate the second half, he still proved himself as an elite defender.
Exactly.
So
he'll do it. He's definitely going to do it one side of the ball.
Oh yeah.
And he's definitely got the potential to do it on both sides of the ball.
Oh, easily on both sides. Yeah, for sure.
And then we were talking about the DH production.
Right.
It's Edwin Encarnacion for $12 million. I expected, I think all of us expected.
250 on base percentage.
Yeah. 377 slugging, a 627 OPS. And for DHs, obviously all they were supposed to do is hit the ball.
Yeah.
And he didn't really hit
the
ball.
And wildly under league average is just...
It was,
we have league average at about 750, but for a DH, honestly, I would put it more around like 780.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. But, I mean, if it was 750, it would be like, all right, like whatever, he was average. So that's cool. But then...
627.
To think that... Matt Davidson's been our best DH in the past 3 years. It's pretty outrageous, and
he was still below average.
Didn't he go through like a wildly horrendous hitting drought? Was that him?
I think that was Daniel Palka.
Daniel Palka,
pinch hitter.
Gotcha.
Great.
But Matt Davidson, I don't know. I mean, he was
where
okay.
Where is Matt
really
Davidson
bad stretches, though.
Matt Davidson right now is on the Dodgers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he gonna
Not
even make?
on the Dodgers.
Yeah, non-roster.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if he hits 50 home runs with the Dodgers just because it's the Dodgers. But
yeah,
they have something in the water over there. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But Andrew Vaughn, obviously it's minor league, and it was only 55 games, but
still
a 384 on base, 449 slugging with an 833 OPS. I think the on base will always be there just because of his, like we discussed earlier, his plate approach and his discipline. Yep. It's going to be there. That's not going to change much.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, it's going to be a little more difficult just because it's major leagues, but like I said, we don't need him to do much to be able to produce better than the ones we've had before.
Right, and all he needs to do is be average. And Giolito already coming out saying that he's been a problem, and just hearing how he's been doing at spring training already.
Yeah.
That's going to be huge. All he needs to do is be average. So, and if he I mean, the ceiling's pretty high with him. I'd say.
Yeah, like without a doubt. Like I said, Jim Callis of MLB Pipeline said he could be a 300 hitter with 30 home runs. I mean, give that to me.
I expect him to at least come up 100 points of OPS higher than Edwin Encarnacion did last year. So that's already a pretty good upgrade, honestly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, he'd still be under league average if he did that, but still.
I feel like his on base could definitely be better than Encarnacion's too. I could see at least a 320 on base, which is league average.
Right.
Yeah, 250. I don't know.
That's rough. Yeah, there's definitely some swings from Encarnacion. I'm like, Jesus, you've been in the league how long and you're still swinging at that?
I know, dude. That was just. It was brutal watching him for a good part of the season. You brought up Eloy earlier in left field. I mean, when you look at his career stats,
it's very
overlooked.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah. Even last year, he won a Silver Slugger, and we weren't really talking about him.
Went under the radar completely.
Yeah, because Abreu was the MVP, and Tim Anderson.
Right.
But 177 career games, a 321 on base, 527 slugging with an 848 OPS.
Yeah, the on-base percentage is right around average. Those other two stats are like wildly above average.
Yeah, without a doubt.
His slugging percentage is only going to get better, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I wasn't even surprised that he won that Silver Slugger last year, honestly. Like, that's just what I come to expect of him. Yeah, exactly. He'll hit like the 40 home runs in his sleep. He'll hit right around like 290-ish and have a little bit above average on base percentage, I think, in his prime he will. But I mean, yeah, that's just kind of the player he is.
Yeah, and his acceptance to hit to the other side of the field, right field. He hits a lot of home runs to the right side of the field.
Exactly.
Like he uses all the field.
That's why I feel like what he does is so sustainable, because he's willing to hit the ball to any field, honestly, at all times, no matter what the circumstances.
Yeah, already 45 career home runs, and 3 of those at least come off the Cubs, which is you love to see.
Oh yeah, those hit so much.
The one
sweeter.
in 2020, I was just like, wow, that thing was crushed.
Yeah.
That thing just kept going.
It's just something to look for whenever Eloy's coming out of a slump is whenever he starts hitting the ball to the opposite field, like consistently. That's when you know he's gonna start hitting home runs a lot. That's what Steve Stone preaches all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. When a hitter hits the opposite field, they're on. And, you know, Eloy still's got to work on the discipline a little bit. He still gets a little shaky on the outside sliders, but that's going to come with age. And this is only, 15 games past one season. So, I mean, there's still room to improve. So
Right. And, with Moncada, I mean, outside of last year, he even said he never felt like himself.
No, yeah, COVID hit him. Yeah. He's got the lingering effects of that, and he said he didn't feel it in his legs. He wasn't conditioned from the virus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could definitely tell for sure.
Yeah.
From some of his swings and stuff, it was like...
Yeah, it was all
and just some of the effort in the field, too, you know?
Yeah, he just seems sluggish at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the one play he ran from first to home, and they didn't know if he can go out there to defend because he was so gassed. Like, he couldn't catch his breath. And a guy that was 25 at the time, in really good shape, you know, that just shows how much it affected him.
Right. And he said he didn't really come around until the very end of the season.
You saw that. You saw that in the playoffs. He was hitting the ball hard. He was just right at people.
And that was pretty hard to watch, honestly. How many times he smoked the ball and didn't get anything for it.
And that's just kind of the bad luck that comes with the game sometimes.
At least, you know, right now he says he feels great. He's got
releasing music.
He's got a hit song on the way. I love how he said he was going to use his song as his walk-up song.
Talk about an ultimate flex. That is the biggest flex. Hey, what's your walk-up song? Oh, it's a song that I wrote.
It's honestly not even a bad song.
Oh yeah, it's definitely
it's catchy.
Definitely good.
I don't speak too much Spanish or anything like that, but it sounds good. I don't know what he's saying.
It does sound good.
That's how it is with Spanish songs.
He put on some dance moves in the video.
As long as it sounds good, that's all that matters. You'll have the stadium rocking to that.
He looks good in the video too. I mean, you know,
he's a good-looking man.
Oh yeah, Yohan, very handsome man. Better player though.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean, Abreu MVP last year. That was
Great
huge.
year.
We had Robert was an MVP candidate for a while. Tim Anderson was an MVP candidate for a while.
If you really look at the lineup, we have 5 potential MVP candidates.
Right.
I mean, the lineup is that deep and the talent is that big. Like, we have that.
So, real quick, what do you guys have for a team prediction, like overall regular season record? Where they finished in the division, and then how far do they make it in the playoffs?
I have them finishing 90-62. I have them just reaching 90 wins, and I think they're going to be 2 or 3 games ahead of the Twins.
Okay. How far do you see them making in the playoffs then?
Oof, good question. Obviously we'll have to see how the rotation pans out and how Cease and Rodon Lopez.
It's an early prediction.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. I have them losing in the CS, the ALCS.
Okay. What about you?
I'd say upper 80s for wins. I say we edge the Twins out by a game.
I like it. Come down to last week.
And I don't know, man, because there's teams like the Yankees that could give us a run for our money, but, I mean, they have their problems, too.
They have question marks. Every team has their question marks, except the Dodgers, because, like I said, they're the Dodgers. But
I'd say I think I'd agree with ALCS, but I would not be surprised if we end up making the World Series.
Oh, no, they can easily win 100 games Oh, I said 90 and 62. I meant 90 and 72. Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't know how to do math.
No, that's all right. I don't
but
really.
they wouldn't. It would not shock me to win 100 games. Like they have that big of a potential.
I guess I could say, if I had to give a prediction, I'd say World Series and then World Series loss
Oof. Man,
to
you
the
can't
Dodgers.
do this like that. All right.
That would be my prediction.
As long as they don't get swept, I'm okay with that.
Personally, I have them at 93 wins.
Ooh.
93.
I like
5
it.
games ahead of the Twins.
Give me that.
88. And the Twins are at 88, obviously. And I have them going to the World Series and winning it all.
Oh,
Let's go.
You
Who do
heard it here
Who do you think they're going to
first.
play? The Dodgers?
You know,
I mean, that would be
I think-
ideal.
You
for
know, everyone wants to see the Sox
White-
and Padres.
White Sox,
That's true.
White Sox Braves World Series.
I like the Braves. I like the Braves.
I like the Braves too, and with the Padres, I feel like they have so many big time names, but I don't know if the chemistry's there yet or the playoff
Yeah,
experience.
I think
Fair. Yeah, that's fair.
the Braves have had a lot of continuity, so
I
I
mean,
think and their
they've
players
been
are
a
so young,
building,
getting better.
like-
They have an MVP of their own. Freddie Freeman's a beast.
Oh yeah, Freddie
and
Freeman.
they have a guy who can go out and
Acuna.
hit 60 and
Oh
60
my
if anyone
God.
else could. So
Albie's switching
literally
second
insane.
baseman.
Yeah.
Dansby Swanson still has the potential to come into his own.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Travis d'Arnaud with a breakout year in 2020. I mean, Max Fried, Charlie Morton.
Yeah,
Their
they still
their
got-
rotation.
They still
have a
have
hell of
guys
a
like
lineup.
Christian Pache and Austin Riley who could easily break out and be studs of their own. So who knows?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Pache's already one of the best defensive center fielders
Yeah,
in the league.
he's
and
I
really
would
hasn't even
definitely
played.
wouldn't be shocked if he wins a Gold Glove.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Well, now onto some less exciting news.
Yeah, the other side of town.
As you can tell, we're all not Cubs fans.
The
but
new second team of the city, the Chicago Cubs.
Yes.
I think that's a fair point
Sox
to
are
say.
finally getting their time.
Oh yeah. I mean, despite the Cubs taking a step back from recent years, they still have a pretty good chance to win the division, I'd say.
Yeah, their division is
Yeah.
very much in reach. I mean, you have the Cardinals that traded for Nolan Arenado, but
Right. One player can only do so much.
Yeah.
anything can happen. It would not shock me if the Cubs won the division.
Yeah,
Right.
and I wouldn't say they're necessarily in a rebuild. I would say it's more of like a
Yeah, like a change of scenery
They're
type
in
stuff.
right.
Yeah.
They're in a very weird position, I'd say, right now.
Yeah, because they got rid of their best pitcher. Well, they
Right.
got rid of 4 pitchers in their rotation.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chatwood was somewhat in the
Chat,
rotation.
yeah, it was,
Their starting center fielder, their starting left fielder, and one of their key relievers, and their backup catcher.
and
So like,
Victor Caratini was a solid backup catcher.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And he had some time at first base also.
Mhm.
So
I mean, yeah. Go ahead.
It's pretty tough because you want to say that they have a decent team still because they still have most of the core players, but they also lost a lot of stuff around the edges, you know what I
Right.
mean? And at the top. So it's kind of tough to gauge them right now.
Quick question about the Cubs. Do you guys think that Bryant will be traded by the end of the year?
I think it really depends on how they're doing during the season.
Yeah.
But I don't think so.
I don't
You don't think
either.
so?
And even though they're
Yeah.
still like not on great terms after all these court cases and everything,
Yeah.
I don't know. He's just like, I feel like he's stuck in a limbo right now with the
I
Cubs.
will say I'll be really shocked if he re-signs with them.
No,
though.
yeah, I think the only situation I see them re-signing him is if they win a World Series, something.
Or
like
if they get to like the NLCS or
Possibly.
you know.
yeah, because that would be deep for them right
Yeah.
now.
I don't think they have that. I don't know. I don't see them going that far in
No,
the
I
playoffs.
mean Zach Davies obviously Zach Davies is not Yu Darvish, but he'll
Right.
eat up quality innings.
Yeah,
And
I
we got Jake the Snake back.
Arrieta. I'm
I'll
waiting
s-
for Cubs fans to say he's back to 2015 for him.
I will say I think Jake Arrieta is better than John Lester is at this point.
Yeah. I
John
don't-
Lester, you could see that there was
He's
major
just-
regression back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he
I mean, the
his-
White Sox teed off on him. So.
his velocity's
Yeah.
down, his movement isn't as good as it used to be. I
Right.
mean, he's kind of throwing BP sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I
no
agree.
doubt.
Hate to say it, but
I think a sneaky pick was Brandon Workman.
I like that.
I think that was only for a $1 million contract, too.
Yeah.
I think that's a sneaky, decent move.
Yeah, and he was just really
He was
solid with the Red Sox.
yeah.
He got traded to the Phillies last year and kind of got
Which Phillies,
hit around a little bit.
I
But
mean,
they're
relievers
cursed.
go to die in Philadelphia.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean,
Jack Peterson. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
that's a
I
good
mean,
signing.
I'd
basically
say-
replace him with Kyle Schwarber, so it's kind
Yeah.
of like a,
I'd
it's
say
whatever.
it's pretty
Mhm.
close, like
Yeah.
pretty even.
I'd give Jock a slight edge. I'd say.
It's close.
Mhm.
I think Jock's better in the field, and Kyle might be better hitting lefties. But
Yeah.
Austin Romine is definitely a downgrade from Victor Carantini in my book.
Yeah, that's a fair way to put that.
Jake Marisnick.
Jake Marisnick and Albert Almora
It's kind of the same guy.
Yeah,
type.
I honestly take Marisnick.
Yeah, I like Marisnick.
Andrew Chafin is kind of whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not better than Jose Quintana if we're going to compare them, I guess.
Trevor Williams at the back end of the rotation is kind of whatever. I mean,
yeah, he's not bad.
I prefer Quintana over Williams.
Yeah,
but
grew up a Cubs fan, I guess. So
oh, did
that's
he?
cool.
Yeah.
Well, his dad did, I think. So yeah.
Oh yeah, but that was an okay move. But I mean, there's obviously nothing too exciting to talk about. I mean,
No.
the biggest transaction they made was the trade of Yu Darvish.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, the players they got from there are definitely like a long time away too. So
Yeah, there's definitely potential there. The
Just-
young high schoolers.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be all this time waiting for the prospects that come up. Well, of the prospects they do have at least,
Right.
like Ed Howard and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at what their main guys did last year, and they still made the playoffs, which is quite impressive. I mean,
Yeah.
Baez, Rizzo, Bryant
Didn't win
they
a game,
They didn't
but-
do much. I mean, Contreras was like the only bright spot.
Who was it? Ian Happ. He had a
Ian
really
Happ,
good
Yeah,
season.
there you
Yeah.
go. I forgot about
Yeah.
him.
There's
Switch
a-
hitter, yeah.
Yeah, the core guys, I mean, are still there.
Mhm. You got
Ian
Jason
Happ,
Hayward, Javi Baez,
Mhm.
Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Chris Bryant, and Wilson Contreras. So
Right.
I mean, you could always see the potential in that because I mean, if all those guys click at once, they have a
Daniel
good-
Murphy.
good
Oh wait,
lineup.
never mind.
Yeah, they could all click at once and have a good season, but I mean, their pitching staff just kind of looks atrocious.
they're gonna need to score a lot of runs to stay in games.
No doubt.
But
Yeah.
like I said, their division's weak.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the Cardinals, but other than that, it's really a lot of question marks in that
Shoot,
division.
yeah.
With all
ton of
that
question
being
marks.
said, I think I do have the Cubs winning the division.
I
Because
would
the
agree.
Brewers, I mean, they have two good pitchers. After that, it's kind of falling off. They have two good pitchers in the bullpen also, but their lineup is kind of brutal. I mean, they have a lot of holes in that lineup.
Mhm.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they have guys who were expected to be good, like Keston Hiura, who just kind of haven't done it yet, at least. And then the Cardinals, I don't know. They really don't impress me too much. They have a lot of aging veterans.
They're just a scrappy team, and they
Yeah,
kind of roll into the playoffs.
Yeah, the
every
reason
year.
I have the Cardinals winning the division is just like they always find a way to win.
I know,
somehow.
it's
Like,
weird. It
Like
just
you always see
doesn't
them
make
in the
sense.
playoffs, and they're like, "Oh, you guys had an okay."
Yeah, and
season."
they
And then they make
steal
a
a few
little
games, too,
run,
yeah.
like a little
they'll
decent
get past
run.
like the DS, and
Yeah.
then they'll lose. But
I just feel like if Jack
They're
Flaherty
stingy.
doesn't go Cy Young level, that their pitching staff's not going to be very good. That's the only thing that scares me a
I
little
mean,
bit.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yadier Molina, hits 40 home runs. But
I'd almost be surprised if he has 40 career home runs. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, Yachty.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know Waino's going to go out there and pitch every 5 days, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Colton Wong was
the
a little-
quality's kind of whatever.
Yeah,
at this
Colton
point.
Wong was a rough loss. I think he's a little underrated.
Yeah,
What
he's
he can
on
do.
the-
he's on the
Brewers now.
I think they're
yeah.
going to regret that. And their outfield is just lacking. I mean,
Dylan Carlson, I like.
yeah, I just like guys like Harrison Bader are just kind of like you
Yeah.
never put it together. It just
No.
kind of sucks. And then they lost Dexter Fowler. Not saying that's a big loss or anything, but I don't know. Their outfield, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what they're gonna do with Nolan Gorman either, because I don't know. Was he gonna
Yeah.
be ready this year?
I don't know. I know he's still young, and obviously there's
Yeah.
a blockage with Arenado and Goldschmidt on the corners.
Exactly.
I mean, I feel like
Could he play like a right fielder or left fielder?
they might try it out, but I mean, if they had a DH in the NL,
That'd
that
be
might
nice.
be a little
Yeah.
easier to bring him up. But I'm not sure what they're going to do with him because I mean, I think Goldschmidt still has 2 or 3 years left on his contract, and Arenado has like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Right.
Good luck trying to break through on those guys. so-
Exactly. You're not breaking through. Nolan Arenado is
Yeah.
premium defender and can hit.
Yeah, who knows though? Teams have been able to get away with moving third baseman, just like hiding them at second base sometimes. So who knows? Like
Yeah,
Moustakas,
Moustakas, yeah.
And Travis Shaw also tried to do that. I mean,
The Brewers
that
were
definitely
weird
didn't
with
go
that,
great,
man. The
but-
Brewers always try to fit everyone at second base for some reason.
Do we think Yelich is gonna have a bounce back season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's too good not to.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Yeah.
All his numbers kind of showed that he was getting unlucky because I'm pretty
Plus-
sure his barrel percentage is still very good.
Plus, there's really no protection in that lineup, so he's going to get worked around. He's
Yeah.
not going to get anything good to hit.
Oh yeah.
His best protection was like Avisail Garcia and Keston Hiura.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, Keston Hiura hasn't been very consistent yet. so-
Exactly.
And like I said, I'm not taking too much into stock with 2020 because Cody Ballinger had a rough year and he's still an elite player. Like
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it just happens to some guys.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with the sample size, like I said with Luis, he had 30 bad games
and sometimes it
just the
takes
end of the world.
it could take a star player 60 games to really get going.
60 games
Exactly.
is really nothing in a 162 season.
Yeah.
But obviously, when you're only playing 60 game season,
Right.
it'll be a little more stand out. But
Yeah, like a guy like Jose Ramirez usually struggles in the beginning of the season, and then he
Mhm.
just absolutely lights the world on fire when it comes like after the All-Star break. But this year he came out hot. But
yeah.
Yeah, speaking of the NL, I mean, Reds, they have some good players, but
Yeah, they got
they're-
solid pitching in Castillo and Gray.
I don't think they're going to
Yeah.
do much, to be honest with you.
they also went out and signed Sean Doolittle. I think that's kind of
Mhm.
underrated.
I
But
mean, they didn't really. I don't think they scored a run against the Braves in the postseason. That was rough.
yeah, I think they really need a guy like Nick Senzel to step up
Yeah,
because
definitely.
he was highly touted.
He was
when
a top
came up.
6 prospect. I feel like.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's like, I mean, you kind of need him to step up eventually because you.
And they lost Trevor Bauer. So.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a
I
big
mean,
one.
that one
we'll
definitely
talk
hurts
about that a
bit.
little later. But yeah, Castellanos, I don't think did much in 2020.
No,
Joey
he started
Votto's
out hot.
aging.
Yeah,
He is aging.
Joey
I mean, he's
Votto's
solid, but he's
definitely
aging.
on the
Yeah.
downswing.
They have
Eugenio
Aquino in right field.
Eugenio Suarez, I don't think had a great year.
Yeah,
and he
Aquino
can-
definitely struggled.
Yeah, he came out on the scene very strong.
Oh my
when
God.
he
Was-
his rookie year, he was hitting home runs
Yeah,
left and
was
Jesse
about to
Winker had a
say,
good year
Jesse
though.
Winker, yeah.
Yeah.
Besides that, though, their offense
I
wasn't.
mean, maybe bring Yasiel
too
Puig
crazy.
back.
I don't know where he's gonna sign.
Yeah, he's a free. I mean,
He's still a
somebody's
free
got to
agent.
sign him,
He
right?
deserves a
he
spot.
can
Yeah.
play. He can play on an MLB team. Like even
He
Is
could
it
definitely
just-
play every day.
Is it just
Yeah.
because he's a clubhouse cancer? Is that
I
like
don't know
the
what it
thing?
I
is
feel like
with him
that'd
right
be the
now.
biggest concern
Yeah.
because I mean his talent. He can be on a rebuilding type team and start in
Right.
the outfield every day.
Yeah,
But
no doubt.
if I had to pick, that would be my guess. Is why he's not signed right now.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I don't see why like a team like the Orioles or the Pirates don't go out and just give him a few.
I mean, I would if I was in their position.
He
Why
like
not?
instantly becomes like the Pirates' best player next.
He
to, like,
becomes the Pirates' number 3 hitter.
next. Yeah, honestly, next to like Gregory Polanco.
Oh,
so.
okay, Brian Hayes. He's gonna be fun to watch.
Oh yeah,
That's
you're
their-
right.
That's about their only bright spot. But
Oh yeah.
Forgot about Josh Bell and the Nationals too.
Josh Bell to the Nationals. Yeah.
So who is the Pirates' best player?
I mean, I
Brian
want
Hayes,
to
I
say Brian
guess.
Hayes, but he also has a very, very short amount of games played. So
Yeah,
Interesting.
he's a great defensive third baseman.
I
If
think unless
anything.
Andrew McCutcheon comes back. But,
Yeah, I mean they have like Keown Kella, I guess.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
guess
I'm
they
looking
could be
through
the
their
best
roster right
players
now.
ever.
Nobody's even. There's not a single player that's really jumping out at me.
No,
No.
that's called Pittsburgh Pirates.
Wow, they might actually be the worst team in the league.
No, they are,
They
for
are.
sure.
They are. Yeah.
Because the Orioles have some solid pieces. You know, they got Mountcastle and stuff like
Adley
that. but
Rutschman, I think, will come up this year.
That's true.
Get him some experience.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think. Oh, I guess Brian Reynolds, but he didn't do well last year. So it's like,
Yeah.
can you even really say that? But
I think if you're watching a Pittsburgh Pirates game, you're literally just looking out for Brian Hayes.
You just
Yeah.
go out.
So-
Honestly, Pirates, if you're listening, go out and sign Yasiel Puig. Thank us later.
yeah, some of the only guys I see on their pitching staff with like any sort of promise are like Mitch Keller and Carson Fulmer's actually on the team.
Oh no.
That's funny.
Is he really? Oh,
My
Yeah.
old friend.
But oh yeah, Mitch Keller and like maybe like Chad Cool, I guess.
Chad Cool.
I mean,
yeah.
Cole Tucker's dating Vanessa Hudgens, so that's saying something.
That's
right?
probably the biggest
Yeah, it's-
storyline of the Pirates so far.
It's gotta be. It's gotta mean something, right?
That's definitely a win for him.
style points. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, guys like Colin Moran, he's not the worst player ever. Kevin Newman is kind of whatever.
Yeah, I
but-
mean, there's just really no one else exciting besides Hayes.
That's
so.
brutal.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that the NL Central is the worst division in the league, right?
Yeah, definitely. Oh no, yeah, definitely it is.
I mean, what other divisions could you throw down there with them? You know.
I mean,
the AL Central.
AL Central's
I guess.
top heavy.
Yeah,
Right.
there's only two.
I like what the
2.5 good teams.
I like what the Royals have done. I mean, they could be like
And-
an okay, scrappy team, but
Yeah.
I mean,
You give the Tigers a couple years too. I mean, they have a lot of young talent.
they have a lot of young pitching. They have a lot of pitching,
and that's a little scary.
Yeah.
AL Central, AL East are both good. NL East is good.
NL East is stacked. NL West, you have Dodgers and Padres. but
AL
after
West,
that, I
AL
mean,
West
there's three
isn't
bad
terrible
teams.
either.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah, but
D-backs,
they're
Rockies,
so good at the
Giants.
top that the NL Central just stands no way. I mean, the AL West, I guess, but I don't know. They have a bunch of.
You still got Oakland and Houston.
Yeah, Oakland and Houston are solid.
Do you guys think Mike Trout's going to be in the playoffs this year?
No, not a chance.
I hope he just. What is his contract right now?
It's a lot.
Yeah,
he's locked up there for a while.
He might be due over $400 million.
Yeah,
still.
I'm pretty sure. Because he signed it when Harper and Machado were signing theirs, right? Around that time.
This was like 12 years.
I feel bad.
12 years, like 450, 420, something like that.
I don't see the Angels doing anything anytime soon.
No,
either.
well, they need to score 10 runs consistently because their pitching is that bad.
Yeah,
I mean,
they went out and got a guy like
Jose.
Rendon.
They got Jose Quintana, but you're not banking on him being your one or
and
two.
Honestly, his best years might already be behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's more of a 4 or 5 type guy. They need a top of the rotation arm.
Right.
Yeah, they just failed to execute on one of them every year. I mean, Trevor Bauer was sitting out there for them for like a while. I mean, and a guy like Jake Odorizzi, I mean, I don't see
still
why.
unsigned.
I don't see a situation where they don't want to go get him,
Right.
Because he's almost their best pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, they have Ohtani, but you don't know with his arm health. I don't know if they view him as a pitcher or as a DH or...
Yeah, I don't know. Odorizzi and Bundy would be kind of hand in hand.
Oh, yeah, Bundy had a solid year, but then again, you're not starting Bundy game 1 in a playoff game and feeling confident in yourself.
Honestly, if you went out and signed Odorizzi, that's not the worst rotation ever. I mean, you got Ohtani, Odorizzi, Heaney, Bundy, and Quintana. That's pretty solid. I mean, it's not great, but it's good enough,
It might be able to get you a wild card, but
exactly. But I mean, I don't they could at least do that. I mean, they're going out there with I don't even know who their other starter is instead of that is.
Griffin Canning.
Yeah, exactly. And Griffin Canning didn't even do that well last year.
No,
so.
I mean they just have so much money tied up between Rendon and Trout that they kind of screwed themselves with that. They can't get that top arm now.
And I once Pujols retires too, because they signed him to a fairly big contract too.
They got him.
This is his last year.
Yeah,
so that's going to be good, honestly, for him to leave.
Yeah, they got Jared Walsh that showed a lot of promise actually in 2020, and I think he was partially in 2019 too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're hoping he can contribute to the lineup, and then Joe Adele can hopefully come around because he struggled greatly last year.
My boy David Fletcher, stud. Don't sleep on him. Don't sleep on him.
They have Justin Upton still. I actually like him as a DH, but
he's definitely aging. He's definitely not getting any younger, but
no, definitely not. They definitely have a lot of aging veterans that they pay way too much, but
Albert Pujols just right there.
Justin Upton.
Yeah.
I don't know, not the best decisions ever, but
maybe they could replace him with BJ, get a little
BJ Upton.
Yeah.
I think he now goes by Melvin.
Really?
Yeah. Bring a little fire to the clubhouse.
He legally change his name? Or?
Yeah, I think
right
2017
he was
or
done
2018.
Playing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But he was raking as Melvin for a little bit, and then he went back to
they're like
BJ
this new player, Melvin
Upton. Yolmer and Carlos Sanchez.
Yeah, that's right.
I want to talk about Trevor Bauer's contract. I don't know how much you guys touched on it in your previous episodes, but I
don't think we have.
But yeah, we can talk about it.
But I mean, $40 million for a pitcher, and then $45 next year.
For a guy that he went out and won Cy Young. He had a few very good seasons, but
never
he's not that established still.
No, I mean, I'd even have a hard time giving that to DeGrom, and he's arguably the best pitcher.
Yeah.
It's just because pitchers don't play as much as position players.
Right.
I mean, you don't have the room to make as much impact.
Pitchers can fall off a lot easier.
Exactly.
Because they're relying on one body part. If a hitter if he hurts his leg or something like that, he recovers and he can hit again. But with a pitcher, if your arm falls off or something like that, I mean, it's kind of over with,
Yeah, I personally don't think any pitcher's worth over $40 million.
I mean, Garrett Cole, you could argue he got overpaid as well.
Oh, without a doubt, I think he did too.
Yeah. I mean, all it takes is one drop in velocity or one
injury.
Yeah, exactly, and you're kind of
he's
not the same.
Then they'll be half the pitcher they used to be, honestly.
Exactly, for the same price.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Bauer's going to be a solid pitcher, but for $45 million, that's a very hefty amount.
I guess for the Dodgers, they're just kind of whatever. We have the money. Let's just do it for fun.
I think they're $40 million over the luxury tax.
Yep.
They're just playing with kid money. They're playing Monopoly, man. They're just, all right, give me that too.
They dropped almost $60 million this year alone.
Between Bauer and Turner.
Yep. I mean, that's pretty crazy if you ask me. I mean,
obviously, don't forget about Mookie and Ballinger there too.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, they're just stacked.
Corey Seager.
It's not even fair.
You look at their team, you're just like, all right, superstar. All right, superstar.
You can't forget about Kershaw either. You know?
Yeah, there's an argument for him being the third one in the rotation.
Yeah.
Like the Cy Young of last year, Bauer.
Oh, Bauer, yeah.
There's the Cy Young of last year being the third in the rotation. That's crazy to me.
I mean, Buehler's filthy. He's great. I mean, you got Gratterall and Dustin May that, I mean, they're
freaks.
Killer out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
Julio Urias finally got his opportunity. I think he's very underrated.
I mean, how much could you really ask? How much more could you really ask for? And after all those names you just named, we had rookie last year Tony Gonsolin with an under 3 ERA, just completely flying under the radar. And any other team, they're like, "Oh, this is our future guy."
They still have a Joe Kelly too.
If they have one guy go down, it's like, all right, we'll just bring this guy.
Exactly. They picked up Blake Trinan when everyone forgot about him after being dominant.
I was really hoping the Sox would get him. Or something like that. And
then they had him dominate for a year or so, and then just
Victor Gonzalez.
let him walk. Let's just find another new stud and throws 100 with movement.
They just breed superstars. Like that organization's been so good for so long. I mean, 8 to 10 years they've won the division straight.
Honestly, I don't know, like. The first day you meet them, they just teach you how to cut and sink everything at 95 plus. But
they teach you how to get outs right away.
I need to take that course or something.
Yeah, whatever they're doing over there, it's definitely been working.
Oh,
it's crazy.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Kenley Jansen, he's fallen off a little bit.
He's aging. He's lost some velocity, but he still gets the job done. He's definitely. I definitely think they could use an upgrade at closer, and he could be like a decent
he's
middle.
He's kind of like a
just
Colomé type.
Yeah, definitely.
So, no doubt.
I think that I still like him though, just because he's done it before. Like he's got the ice in the veins. But I would definitely. I mean, if they went out and signed a guy like Liam Hendricks, I don't see where they would even have a hole. You know what I mean?
They wouldn't. They simply would not have a hole.
Every offseason you see Dodgers interested in. They're
Yankees,
always interested.
Dodgers.
Always interested. Yeah.
I mean, I think they're becoming more prominent with the spending than the Yankees are at this point, honestly, because the Yankees
Dodgers?
have gone.
The Dodgers are the new age Yankees.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say the Yankees have necessarily gone cheap, but like in their.
I guess in their eyes they have.
Yeah, like they don't want to go over the luxury tax anymore, and they want to stay like right underneath $200 million.
I mean, I wish Jerry's thought process was, let's just go $50 million over the luxury tax just because.
Well, even if we got like right under it, that would be $60 million more. So
yeah, very true.
I mean, the Padres have kind of gone out and done their best best Dodgers Yankees impression.
For sure.
Padres went out and got Musgrove, Darvish, Snell, and then Dodgers were like, all right, we'll just get Bauer.
So I have a question to present about the NL West then. So I'm gonna set an over/under of games that the Dodgers finish away from the Padres. Oh, okay. That's agreeing that the Dodgers won the division.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys
I agree. Everybody that's putting the Padres as the best team, I'm just like,
no,
they haven't proven anything.
Definitely top three, but
since we stand at that, I'm gonna set an over/under of games that the Padres finish back from first place. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll set it at 9 games.
Oof. I'd say 7. My prediction would be like 7.
I'm under.
I'm giving under.
Yeah.
Over?
I got like.
I wouldn't be.
Wow.
That wouldn't shock me per se, but I don't know. If I'd say under. I'd say around 7.
I could definitely see the Dodgers holding the new record for wins in a season.
I agree.
What are you thinking? Like 115 or something, or like?
Yeah, between like 110 and 115. Because what's the record at?
Mariners,
I think the Mariners.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
And then didn't they lose in the first round or something?
Something like that.
Yeah, that was just.
They definitely didn't make it to the World Series. Or anything.
I don't think they even made it to the.
But I think both teams easily are 100-game winners.
2001 Mariners.
Look at that rotation that the Padres have. I mean,
I think I had the Padres around like 98 to 100, and then the Dodgers around like 110. So that's
116 and 46. That is disgusting.
116 with the Mariners?
Yeah. Then they lost in the ALCS.
Oof. Was it the Yankees?
Probably.
Yeah.
It was what, 2001?
Yeah, so that was the year they probably that was right around their 3. They had a 3-peat.
I believe the Yankees won the World Series that year.
Yeah,
probably.
That's what I'm thinking.
Or maybe the Diamondbacks, because I know they upset them one year.
That was 2002. No.
It may have been 01.
It might have been because I think 2002 might have been the Marlins. That might have been 2003.
That was 2003, the Marlins.
Yeah.
Because what's his name? Miguel Cabrera was a rookie on there.
Right.
Miggy.
And then Michael Lowell.
But I mean, yeah, it's tough because both teams are very, very good, and I mean,
yeah, I like it's weird saying that. Well, I don't think it's weird, but like the for how good the Padres are, I don't think
it's just the Dodgers are
they're
good.
Close. Yeah, I don't think they're even
that
close
good.
To them, honestly.
Yeah.
I think. And I also think since the Padres have all this hype around them, they may come out a little flat.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be I wouldn't be
so.
surprised if they only have like 2 or 3 more wins than the White Sox this year.
The
to
Padres
be honest
for
with
sure,
you.
because I could see the White Sox winning 97 and the Padres winning like 95.
Yeah,
and
now that we're discussing it, I don't know, 9.
I don't see
might
the
be
Padres.
at-
as
I
a
might,
nine.
yeah. Honestly, I think I want to switch my
'Cause
mind.
I mean-
I'll take the
I
over.
mean, you're banking on Will Myers doing what he did. You're banking on Hosmer. You're banking
Exactly.
on Cronenworth.
Exactly. And I think the Dodgers have known commodities. And
Yeah.
even if someone does start to not perform up to expectation, they have another guy who probably come out and hit an
And
800 OPS.
Tatis is a superstar. There's no doubt about that. But he's
Slumps.
young. He could definitely. I could see Tatis going into a little bit of a slump.
Trent Grisham.
Yeah, him and Ronald Acuna are two of the most streaky guys in the league. So like
Tatis, you're
That's,
saying?
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why I like Juan Soto over them. Juan
Exactly.
Soto's so consistent.
He's so good.
'Cause his
even when he's
discipline,
slumping, he'll
yeah,
walk 2 times in a game.
his
anyway.
discipline
Oh, yeah.
and plate approach is insane for his age.
Right.
Exactly. So like Tatis, if Tatis slumps and the rest of the guys aren't picking him up, it can easily be a little tough for them in the first month or two, and they get out slow, and the Dodgers kind of coast all
And
the way.
then who was it? Kim they signed?
Oh yeah, I can't say his name.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Young Sake
Sung
Kim,
or
something like that.
Yeah,
So I don't
And
know
they-
what
I
they're gonna
mean-
do with him because their infield is kind of.
yeah. Who knows?
Stacked.
I feel like Machado's going to be solid. Like
Yeah.
he's just going to be
I
consistent.
mean, for $300 million, you'd hope.
I hope
Yeah,
so.
exactly. I just don't know if guys like Hosmer are really gonna do it like that for a full season.
Right.
Will Myers is decent. I think he's kind of known like he'll hit a
And
little
then
above average.
They got Austin Nola behind the plate, which was a solid
Yeah.
pickup.
It's just
Mhm,
like
for sure.
are guys like Cronenworth actually going to be able to do it for a full season?
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, if he doesn't, then they're going to have to worry about making a move to be
Yeah,
able to
like
fill
we
that hole.
like we said before, every team has their question marks.
Exactly,
Besides
definitely.
the Dodgers, but
Oh yeah, the Padres picked up Caratini too. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Tommy
But-
Pham they had.
oh yeah, Carantini and Nola. That's
Yeah.
a good
Tommy-
tandem.
Very
Tommy
good
Pham's
tandem.
decent. I just don't know. I mean, I know he was hurt last year, right?
Yeah, he was struggling a little bit. last year.
Jerickson Profar.
Yeah, he's whatever.
A lot of people are impressed
He's
by
an
him,
okay bench, but-
I really don't. I
Yeah,
really don't
he's
think he's too
definitely
great.
overhyped.
No, but I think their pitching is just that good. That
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
it
they
is.
can afford a few slumps
think-
from guys
I
here
think
and there.
their pen could screw them up a little bit, though.
Yeah, that's probably one other
I
question marks they
Because
have.
people don't talk about them losing Kirby Yates that much. I know he didn't do that great last year, but he was their stalwart for like a decent amount of time.
2019, he was insane.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
amazing. That's also sneaky for the Blue Jays.
Blue Jays, yeah.
For that
Blue
bounce
Jays
back
are-
potential. But
Sheesh, yeah,
Blue Jays
could be
can knock on the door with
dangerous.
the Yankees.
Oh, yeah.
up top. They got some boppers in that lineup.
No doubt. No
oh
doubt.
yeah, I
The
think they're a
pitching's-
little
yeah.
they're a little unknown. I
Mhm.
think they might be getting a little too much hype for my liking, but I think they're gonna be a good third place team.
Springer, Simeon, those are both good pickups.
Yeah, I
Um,
just don't know. Like, which Vladdy are you gonna see? Like, is he gonna get better? Is he
Lost
gonna
some
just-
weight. There's
Right.
promise
Yeah.
there.
True.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
huge.
I mean, if Bo keeps
Bo Bichette's a
developing, that'd be
dog.
nice. Yeah. I mean,
Tanner Rourke.
Are we
Robbie
going to see the same
Ray.
Teoscar Hernandez, Lourdes
Yeah.
Gurriel? Like,
Yeah, Teoscar especially because it's like
Teoscar tore it up.
he kind of came out of nowhere.
For sure.
Not, yeah, I mean, like he
Yeah,
was
kind of.
around, but
He
like
broke out.
he
Mhm.
never hit that well.
No,
you know?
I think he won a Silver Slugger.
Yeah.
But their pitching could use some help.
Yeah, like Robbie Ray. I mean, are you really banking on him?
Nate Pearson, stud. If he can stay
throwing
healthy.
30 starts.
Yeah, he might
Yeah.
he might be on a little innings limit.
No
And
doubt.
Then, I mean, I don't know. I mean, honestly, Robbie Ray gives me like Aaron Sanchez vibes.
Yeah, I could see that. He walks way too many guys. He needs
Yeah,
to
for
tighten up the
sure.
control. I
For
think
sure.
He was another guy that shortened up his arm action, so
Yeah.
we'll see how that works out for him.
Yeah. I wonder if it's a mental thing for him, but who knows? We'll see. I mean, maybe they can figure something out with him.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
That would be, that would be huge for them, honestly. Yeah, I mean, so this season, there's a lot of question marks, to be
Definitely.
honest. There could be a lot of sleeper teams, but a team like the Dodgers, the White Sox, who are projected to be like very good. Those guys are going to be at the top. I think there's no doubt about that.
I think people
and the Padres too.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to go through and pick every division winner before spring training, like officially is like a?
Yeah, we can do
let's
that.
do that.
Stuff.
Just a reminder: spring training first game, February 28th. Set your reminders, folks.
All right. That's
Angels,
what, 4
right?
days from now?
I believe, or the Brewers.
Okay, cool.
Very nice. All
I'll
right,
put
so
Let the guest start first.
all right, Chris.
So
go
for the
ahead.
NL East, I have the Braves winning.
Okay.
NL Central, I have the Cardinals. NL West, I have the Dodgers.
Very nice.
The AL East, I have the Yankees. The AL Central, I have your Chicago White Sox.
Let's go, baby.
And AL West, I got the Astros.
Okay. You go ahead.
I'll go. AL East, ours are basically the same except for one.
Mhm.
AL East, I have the Braves. NL Central, I actually have the Cubs. NL West, Dodgers. I just don't see the Padres coming in and
No,
winning
the
that
Dodgers
division
are
yet.
just too juggernaut.
I mean, the Dodgers would have to have some catastrophic fall.
Yeah.
AL East, Tampa's they can be dangerous, but I see the Yankees winning. Give me the White Sox, baby, for the AL Central.
Yes, sir.
And then I'm also gonna go with Houston for the AL West, no doubt.
I mean, the A's can easily win a wild card, but
yeah,
I just like the Astros more.
me too.
All right, so NL East, got a little bit of a sleeper pick. I got the Nationals.
Okay.
Okay.
I think they'll definitely
People
bounce
forgot
back.
they won the World Series.
That's
exactly.
true.
They had a little bit of a World Series hangover, and it kind of shows
Oh,
more
no
in a
doubt.
60-game season.
Definitely got the rotation.
And then the NL Central, I also have the Cubs. And then the NL West, I have the Dodgers for what we touched on before.
Mhm.
And then the AL West, I have. Man, this is tough.
It is. The AL West is
Because
definitely
the
a little
A's
tough.
are like always there.
Yeah,
but
I hate counting out the A's because I respect you respect what the A's do. You know,
with the
but
payroll they have.
There's
But
definitely
I'm-
less stigma around the Astros this year, though. There was a ton of pressure,
Yeah.
I'd say, on them last year after the allegations. Well, I mean, it happened.
yeah,
but-
exactly. I think I'm gonna pick the Astros though.
Okay.
I just
Smart.
like their
Smart
team.
pick.
Yeah.
Me too.
I think Valdez stepping up was huge for them.
Framber.
And they're getting
Valdez,
Verlander back, too, right?
Later on in the year.
Yeah.
Kyle Tucker finally took a step.
Yeah, that was big.
Mhm.
And him, Yordan Alvarez, and Brantley
Coming
are going to
back,
be
yeah.
kind of nasty with the lefties in the
Brantley,
lineup. And that's without saying.
I mean, they still got
Altuve's probably going to do better.
Bregman, Correa, Altuve. They still got arguably one of the best infield.
That's
Yeah.
that's 6 players. And Gurriel. That's pretty good. I mean,
That
can't
is
really ask for much
very
more out
good.
of a lineup.
No.
And then AL Central, of course, I'm going with the White Sox, as I
Let's
said
go, baby.
before.
Sir.
5 games up on the Twins.
There we go.
And then the AL East, I mean, like, I'm not even really high on like any of these teams,
No.
honestly.
Yeah.
I
see
guess
what you're saying.
I guess like, cause the Rays, they lost Blake Snell and they really didn't do much this offseason.
Mhm.
So it's like they lost Charlie Morton also. So it's
Mhm.
like, I mean,
Right.
what do you really expect out of them? But it's
And
hard to count them out at the same
In
time.
my opinion, their offense, there's nothing really scary about their
No,
offense.
yeah.
I mean,
No.
Austin Meadows had a good year in 19, but
Yeah.
took a step back in 20. Like I
Unless-
said, I don't take much into
Yeah.
2020, but
Unless Rosarena actually is like
The real deal.
there's no way
Mike
he's doing
Trout
what he,
level.
Yeah, there's no way.
That
They
was
don't have
insane,
any
though. That was like one of the
superstars, you know?
best postseasons
that
we've
was
ever
insane.
seen from
But
anyone
I don't
ever.
I don't see him doing that
It's
throughout
crazy.
a regular
No.
season.
Yeah, and then I mean the Yankees, they always have like guys, but like I really don't like the
The
rotation.
rotation after Cole's.
I guess I'll go with the
Suspect.
Yankees, but it's not like I don't feel very good about it.
That would, yeah, I was about to say that would be the safest pick, but there is no really safe pick for the AL
it's
East.
because like Kluber and Tyon, I think they played 1 game combined last year.
One inning, Kluber pitched, and then he was out, and then Tyon didn't pitch, Severino
Yeah.
didn't pitch.
Yeah, that's right,
So it's like-
Severino.
You're banking on Jordan Montgomery, Devi Garcia, Clark Schmidt's out for a month.
Exactly. I don't know. You don't really want to bank on
Man,
guys
what
like that,
the
especially
Red-
Jordan Montgomery, because he hasn't really shown a crazy amount.
Domingo Herman.
It's crazy how the Red Sox just a few years ago were a pretty elite team, and now they're just.
Yeah, when you
Yeah.
trade Mookie Betts, a top 2 player in the game, you know.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
they
they got Verdugo, which I do like a lot, but
They
I don't
lost
know,
their
their
best
pitching.
position player and their best pitcher. So,
yeah.
well, they didn't technically
Well, Sale's
lose Chris
injured,
Sale,
yeah.
but he's been hurt. So
Right.
it's kind of tough to do much. And then they traded Benintendi.
That's right.
Yeah.
Losing Jackie Bradley most likely because
Yeah.
he hasn't signed. But
I mean, they would. They still have Xander Bogaerts.
Xander Bogaerts,
Rafael
JD.
Devers.
Yeah.
Martinez can definitely have a bounce back year.
yeah, they definitely have
Christian
some boppers.
Vazquez was
but
okay.
And they got like Michael Chavez, and then
Bobby Dalbec.
yeah, Bobby Dalbec,
Michael Chavis.
yeah, and then they should
yeah.
have what's his name, the first baseman they drafted, Tristan something, but
Tristan Casas.
yeah, yeah, I mean they're a decent team, I guess, but they're never gonna touch the top of the division. I don't
No.
think. They're
I don't-
third place at best.
Plus,
at their
like
absolute
we were
ceiling.
just talking about, the Blue Jays they got potential too.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
could
they
sneak in and
arguably
win the
do anything.
division, you know?
I mean,
Yeah.
That wouldn't be
it's
the
a very
craziest
tough-
thing.
It's a very tough division.
Yeah.
There's not a clear winner in that
Right.
division.
I think
No
the
doubt.
Yankees would have to be riddled with injuries for the Blue Jays to win, but I could see a
Which
situation.
we've seen that before
Exactly.
with
Oh, yeah.
Judge, Stanton. I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
No doubt.
Especially the Blue Jays went out at the deadline maybe and made some moves, but
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
we'll have to see.
We kind of touched on it earlier, but do we want to give our White Sox opening day rosters?
oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
We could do
yeah, we
that.
could do that.
For me at catcher, I have Grandal, obviously, and then I'm gonna say Lucroy for backup for the most
Yeah,
for
it's
the
probably
most
the
part.
safest bet at this
Yeah.
point.
For the most part, first base you got Abreu, obviously. I don't think we're gonna see Vaughn. Abreu could DH a few games possibly, but I don't.
I think
I think
Abreu were flip flopping a little last year
Yeah.
between first.
I think
Yeah.
they'll definitely switch around with Abreu and Vaughn because Abreu actually likes DH.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
He doesn't like ever sitting, but he'll DH a little bit if he
Yeah.
For
if
sure.
they want him to.
Second base, I got Nick Madrigal.
Mhm.
Shortstop, obviously Tim
TA,
Anderson.
baby.
Yohan Moncada, third base. Those two are kind of just like they're not gonna move.
No.
Left field, Eloy.
Mhm.
I think he's gonna be better defensively. That would be. That would be huge.
The
Like we said
the
earlier.
organization sees him as a left fielder.
If
gonna
he's
be there.
if he's
Yeah,
just
definitely.
average, that's all we need. Because the pop from his bat is just fantastic. So, center we got Robert. We have our next superstar.
Mhm.
Right field, I'm gonna say Eaton's gonna play a little more than Engel.
Yeah.
That's probably the safer play.
Yeah.
Because naturally you'll just face more righties and lefties.
Yeah.
But we're gonna
he's-
have a platoon out there
He's
for
gonna
sure.
play more. I mean, you're not throwing 7-8 million at a guy just to strictly be platoon, but
Yeah.
it'll mainly be a platoon.
Yeah.
But
Engel's been that guy though that kind of just like bounces around a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
So he's comfortable with where he's at.
Plus,
But
they might leave Eaton in there to replace Eloy later in the games.
That's
'cause
true.
They still might do that because they
That's-
want it. That's for
Definitely.
the
I
best
think so.
of the team.
Mhm.
Engel's obviously a better defender than
Yeah.
Eloy.
oh yeah, for
Eaton
sure.
to left and then Engel to right.
Yeah, it gives. I like having that variety, you know,
Yeah.
just in case like Eloy starts to struggle in left field.
Mhm.
DH, I'm gonna say Andrew Vaughn. Honestly,
Yeah, I think
I'm
he's
really
gonna be
hoping
there.
for the best. I think opening
Yeah.
day, he should be there.
Yeah.
If
I'd
he
honestly
keeps
be
progressing.
surprised.
I mean, I think it was Eloy that signed an extension
Mhm.
in March during spring training. So if he gets an extension, he's going to start opening day.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
no
You
question
just
about
pencil
it.
him in right away.
Then we have Garcia as our utility guy.
Mhm.
I mentioned Mendick earlier too,
Mhm.
so we could have him for the infield. Starting pitchers, obviously Giolito, Keuchel, Lynn are our
Mhm.
top three.
Yep.
4 or 5 gets a little shaky.
It's
I
gonna
want
be
Cease.
Cease at
I want
4.
Cease there at 4, and then 5. If I had to pick somebody, I'd say Carlos Rodon because
Mhm.
he's kind of been there, done that a little more than
Yeah.
Lopez because Lopez has been pretty shaky.
And they talked about being creative with the bullpen. They might use an opener on that 5th day because
Right.
La Russa loves his bullpen. So
Oh, yeah.
he might. You can very well see.
Throw a Crochet out there. Yeah. I'd say Rodon though if I had to pick a 5th pitcher.
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence. I really don't know. It depends how they perform this spring.
Yeah,
For sure, no doubt.
Very
Reynaldo,
early.
I don't want to count out Reynaldo because
No.
I know the stuff is there. It's
Mhm.
just whether or not he can put it in the spots he wants to at the right times, and if he can get some more deception. But it looks like he's trying to become more deceptive with his arm motion.
Yeah,
so
he
we'll
was
see.
getting his arm way back behind him. That was just causing all sorts of problems. And then when Katz first saw Rodon, he noticed something with his lower half right away, that he wasn't using his lower half correctly.
With Rodon?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, they're talking about how it's kind of scary because I think he was number 3, number 4 overall pick. And he's never been using his lower legs right, which is a little scary. If you
How-
pick him
And
that high.
why have the pitching coaches before that just didn't notice? or
I don't think
In
they really
college and the
cared
pros,
because
it's
they knew they
outrageous.
weren't going to do anything. So they're kind
Yeah.
of just like, all right, just throw. And Don was kind of just like, all right, I'm getting old. I don't really care that
Yeah.
much. So
It's good that we have a guy though in there that's pointing that out. You know, it
without
shows
a doubt,
that he
I'm
really
a huge
cares.
fan of Ethan Katz.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, that would be my
Yeah,
lineup
I mean,
prediction.
there's really not much conversation of to differentiate. I mean, most guys are pretty locked in. You guys want to talk about like the lineup construction?
Yeah.
About what we can do with that? So
Sure.
I got TA leading off.
Okay.
I got Yoan batting second. I got Abreu batting third. I got Eloy fourth.
Yeah, I was gonna say Eloy fourth. That's huge.
I got Grandal fifth.
Okay.
I got Luis Robert sixth. I got Eaton/Angle at 7. I think he's gonna start over Vaughn, a spot ahead, just because I don't think they want Vaughn. They want to take off as much pressure as possible. So I got Vaughn 8th, and then I got Madrigal at 9th.
Interesting. So,
what about you?
Is this what we think it will be? Or
Yeah, like
what
the
we
opening
want it to
day. It's a good question. I think I constructed it as what I think it will be.
Okay, I'll do that.
Not what I want it to be. This is what I think it will be.
All right, so I got TA leading off.
Okay.
Personally, I think they should probably have Moncada second, but I don't know if they will or not.
Yeah.
If not, then I'm gonna go with Grandal, Abreu, Eloy.
Then between like Moncada and Grandal at that 2 and 5, is that what you're like changing out?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Moncada probably at 5, and then Robert. What's the Vaughn and Eaton, and then Madrigal.
Gotcha.
I think Vaughn fits at 7.
Yeah, I kind of just figured they might try to low pressure, put him lower in the lineup, just so he doesn't think about it too much. But I could see, I could flip flop those, and I could see it.
Madrigal and Grandal are tough at 2 and 5.
I mean, when you have a guy that gets on like Madrigal does at 9, that's still.
Oh, it's a great way to flip into the lineup. It's a great way to flip into Anderson. And
no doubt.
Grandal or Moncada. I mean,
they create so many more RBI situations for Anderson.
I mean, if I'm an MLB pitcher, I'm looking at the lineup before the game starts. I'm like, all right, where can I get a good out? You can't find it.
I mean, you would look at that like 8-9 spot, but I mean, having Madrigal and then Anderson back to back, that's huge.
You don't see a point where you can rest and think, okay, I can chill on
and
this guy.
I think Anderson's gonna have a career high in RBIs with Madrigal going right before him. I mean,
yeah. I mean, he's only gonna have 8, and they're gonna have to pitch to him too. That's the thing. If they have a guy on base like that,
yeah, there's protection for everyone in this lineup.
Exactly, especially if there's always going to be someone, or like 1 or 2 guys on base with Eaton and Madrigal taking walks and getting
if you have
singles and stuff.
You have Vaughn, Eaton, Madrigal bottom 3, and then you got TA. Those guys are going to be on base for TA, Moncada, Eloy. I mean,
the RBIs are going to be off.
We should score a lot of runs.
Oh, yeah.
There's an argument. Those are like 3 of the best guys we have at taking pitches.
Exactly.
Team, so.
Yeah, we have one of the top tier bottom half of the lineups, honestly. So that's just huge to have in your lineup.
It's a very deep lineup.
Oh yeah. Are we good on MLB?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we should touch on the Tiger Woods car accident, I should say. That was kind of shocking news. He just had his 5th back surgery in December, so he was coming back. He was trying to come back for the Masters in April, and then he literally on Sunday, his tournament, Max Homa just won, and he gave him the trophy. Yeah. And then 2 days later, here he is getting in a car accident. It sounds pretty brutal, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the fractured ankle, the lower leg injuries. I mean, you're just happy he's alive.
Yeah.
Car accidents are nothing to joke about.
And the car flipped over multiple times. They said there were no brake marks on the street, so I'm assuming he just missed a turn.
Yeah.
He's honestly lucky to be do
very.
I mean, it is fortunate that he survived, but I mean, do you think he ever comes back to play again?
This could quite possibly. I mean, he's 45. He's literally a 45-year-old. In 5 years, he'll be eligible for the senior tour.
It's gonna take through so many injuries.
I know, and because of that, and because of his age, I don't see him coming back to golf for another year plus. Because they literally they're putting pins in his ankle. He shattered his ankle.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope if anybody can come back from injuries like this, it's Tiger, especially in the game of golf. But I don't know. I'm just hoping for the best. Yeah. I don't see him coming back anytime soon, though, which is a bummer.
The back injuries are very, very tough to come back.
Yeah, and he's had 5 back surgeries.
5 surgeries. I mean, if you're Tiger, you'd think
That's
maybe
ridiculous.
I should just stop. Like
Yeah.
5 surgeries.
But
on
then
your
he
back.
goes and he wins the Masters in 2019.
That was incredible.
I know that
That was
was one
incredible.
of the best things I've ever seen in my life, honestly.
Could not believe that.
Yeah,
But then
and
again, it is Tiger Woods.
they
so
were hoping he could come back for the Masters next month, but
that's-
or
yeah.
a little over a month from now. But that's just
That's not going to
It's
happen now.
unfortunate.
yeah,
Very unfortunate.
Terrible
Very happy
loss.
he's alive though.
yes, extremely happy. Are we good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that should do it for this episode. We thank Chris for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me. I had a great time.
We would love to have you come on again. Maybe a little update on after the season starts.
I'd be very happy to.
Awesome. And you said when's your first game for Moraine?
March 9th.
March 9th.
Hopefully all the snow will be melted by then.
Hopefully. I mean, we're looking good right now.
I could play in this weather right now.
It's
is
been warm
gorgeous
the last
outside.
couple of days.
Oh yes.
So
heating up a little bit. Hopefully
yes.
it maintains.
yeah, I appreciate you coming on. Good luck this year.
I appreciate it, you guys. Thank you guys for having me. I had a great time.
This has
Anytime.
been another episode of the Glacier Guys. You can find these episodes on YouTube and SoundCloud. They will also be linked on the Glacier's website. And that's it. See you guys later.